afternoon show.
Heyo, how's it going, everybody?
It's sashimi time.
I see. You can't. Every single time this week we go in the afternoon show, somebody's talking about food. I just noticed I didn't eat my Eat More bar. Those sandwiches were good. I don't know if did you get?
Did not.
Okay, so Sean didn't get the Montreal smoked meat sandwich, which I think was a missed opportunity because they were pretty good today. I'm not gonna lie, they were absolutely tasty. I have to make sure I log into. I haven't even logged into the chat. So we're going to do that. Next time we take a fill, we'll let you guys know the positions. But the overall market's not doing bad.
Oh, I'll take it.
I feel like we're running the risk.
I got a good position
of going to the downside a little bit here.
Here we go.
I could be wrong about that. So we'll see. Like I'm only in a couple of short positions, but right now feels like we're headed back into said downside. I was just talking with Adam and we're noticing how bad Micron looks. Like the chip names aren't all bad, but Micron. This is a dog. It's one of the few things that actually broke the low of the day when the market was going higher.
Oh, no.
So,
position board is not
you're
right.
still actually going upside. It's not right for you?
I just punched in and out of AT&T.
You know what? Sometimes it takes a minute.
Okay.
If you're out of it. Yeah, it's like the delay on the bill sometimes takes like 10 seconds to a minute. But the NASDAQ was just about trying to hold on to that 2010, I kind of think what we were doing, we might be able to do it. It feels weak to me. I'm sitting in some shorts as we speak. The real story, the big one today, obviously, I know there's almost no chance you guys aren't leading with this as the symbol you wanted was going to be Tesla. Tesla in 250. It's got a date with it again this afternoon.
That's so crazy.
On a Friday, you cannot get away from the $250 level. It makes perfect sense. It's options expiration. Today, it's the end of the week. So we'll see if Tesla actually has the juice to get through 50. It feels like 51 is going to be the breakout level, and 50 is just a trap.
Yeah, I'm already upset. So welcome to the club. Yeah, we had Tesla. We nailed Tesla down there at 245. I mean, look at all. Oh no, my chart's going to crash. Oh, it does not. Ayo, chart not crashing, baby. Yeah, so we had this long, and we got out at VWAP, and now it's all the way at 250. So we'll talk more about this, but I like Tesla a lot. And then me and Adam just went and we got a coffee. We went with Randy, and we came back and said, oh boy, because that's Apple right there. What a trade that was to the short side as we shorted Apple right there just above the 200 period and in and around its days high there for Apple. So let's see if this one wants to continue to bleed downside. 50 cents in the money on Apple right now as we hold that short. That's the only position. Oh, good. AT&T is gone, so you're right. Now, hopefully, we'll have nothing else until we add, hopefully, a position on maybe Nvdia or something like that into the close. So for right now, just short Apple. Let's go find out what you guys want to talk about.
Are we even ready to do that? I have no idea.
All right, then we are not ready for that. So we will just come back over here and see what we're up to.
We can't talk about the symbols you want now.
We're just totally chilling out one more time. But we already know.
Why we got the green screen?
He's setting up over there. All right.
It's important things that have to get set up, everybody.
It's all good,
it's
man.
All about
it's all good. We're here. I mean, we're here. You know, it's not,
okay, so I have
all the training that we have for
I have to show you something, and I'm mad about this one as well. But guess what broke out today?
Oh, I'm in that name, by the way. I talked.
You did that. You got into Smart, not knee.
No, I got into Smart. So I actually bought in my own swing account yesterday on that 13 break, and then added to it in the afternoon. So I think my average price is around $12.50. But go ahead because
what is it?
Sharif messaged me. He's like, "Oh, is anybody in?" He asked me if I was in SMR, and I had no idea that it was ripping up there today. So what is it doing? Up 10%.
It's up 9.5%. Just to be,
I lost so much money trading that yesterday.
Well over 10%. It was easily over 10% earlier. But look at the consolidation here. So day two type play. Here's what gets me, and I think the next time we see this is always going to be constructive for anyone looking at these names. Look at where the support is in a general sense. The last couple of days, the support was here, and it does these liquidity grabs. Look at the liquidity grab yesterday to get right above the support zone. Close, hold that double top high, then you're off to the races. Those day two type plays, like everyone's excited about it. It was that it was Alphabet story that they are looking into small modular reactors for data center power production. That got it gapping up. It gave it up. Liquidity grab, hold the high, off to the races. Probably needs to consolidate here, is my guess. because 13's been a bit of a thing for this stock. But good luck for anyone that's maybe in this one here today. Are we now ready? Okay, I just got the thumbs up from Sharif, so we're locked and loaded. Let's see what you guys want to talk about, and girls.
Got to welcome everybody first. So welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. Make sure to join us during the midday show and get into that chat and vote for your favorite tickers, but only the top 5 make it on. So make sure to persuade your friends and others in the chat to vote your way. Here's a look at the triple Q. So not a bad look, up 2/3%. It looked a little dicey there to start the day. We had that big move up on non-farm payrolls in the pre-market, and then we had that big sell-off. All the indices right now green, guys. So the ES up 1/3, the Dow up 1/4, the NQ up 2/3, and the best performing one on the day, the Russell 2000, up about 1%. First ticker as decided by you guys. No surprise here. It makes its way onto the top 5 a whole lot. Nvdia. No bad catalyst today, but no good catalyst today specifically. There was this catalyst that the Department of Justice as well as the SEC were looking at investigating them for misapplying some of their cryptocurrency or digital currency sales for their AI chips under their gaming. So not really a new topic, but one that got reignited because they did reignite the lawsuit.
Yeah, and I still kind of don't understand why that's going to be that big of a deal, but fair enough. Lawyers need to get paid, so they do their thing too, and I'm not going to hate on that. At the end of the day, I'm going to slightly hate on Nvidia for 2 reasons. 1, because it can't seem to break out 124.5. 2, because it's not the bottom wick, but it's adjacent to it a couple of times here on Nvidia. So there was a dip at the open. The good part about the dip at the open, if there is a good part about it, was I felt like I was okay at being patient, waiting to get in. But that's like it's only ever half the story. I still did not really get the back end of that trade the way I'd like to, because if you looked at the target zone to buy, which was clearly down here, 122.5 to 121.5, like that's the zone. If it's under here, no go. If it's above it, yes, go. So it did make the move down in. When it reclaimed it, I got a bad price on that entry. Then I got a good reload here. And then I had maybe too tight of a stop, and then there's your, like right in here, it's probably this entry that I should have at the 123. So I didn't have that. The only good news about it was AMD decided to be stronger and just do a VWAP thing. And the other thing about VWAP on AMD was yesterday's high, higher lows, VWAP, and now you can see it's at the 170 level. So for me, AMD good, and Nvidia bad. I am in SMCI right now because it's a VWAP trade off of, it's a short trade off of VWAP, but AMD up 4.5 points today. That surprised me. I feel like the more we like Nvidia, it's like those are the days that AMD will have a good day. Usually there's a trade-off, like they'll trade spots, like AMD slows down, Nvidia starts going again. I'm waiting for Nvidia to make that next move now that AMD is holding at that high. That 124.50, it's just set up to fly from.
I was hoping that this chart would load up by then, but it doesn't look like it wants to. Let me just go here. All right, so far today you want to talk about, I have AMD too, but we'll just talk about Nvidia quickly. Yeah, again, to be able to held that and try to find that bottom of 122. Again, I don't think when you look back, it's going to be rocket science because it was yesterday's bottom that held as well. So, 122. The next name is really going to get me going when we talk about Tesla because we had nailed that. It's our #1 trade idea down here at 245. Today we didn't have that on Nvidia, but it would have been the same thing. I just wasn't looking this low, to be honest with you. I thought the market was opening up huge, which it was, and then we just fell off. So we came all the way back in, but into yesterday's support level, 122. We got to keep that on our radar for Nvidia. All right, Sharif, I know you're going for your test drive. What day is that happening? And are you excited for it?
Tomorrow, 11 a.m., Sean. I told the dude, you either have me an FSD car or there's no talking between us. So check out for that next week. Hopefully, we'll put a video for the Robo Taxi event. All right, guys. Shares of Tesla up a little bit today as we got word that the dock worker, the Eastern dock workers there were suspending their strike. So it looks like they agreed on compensation, but haven't agreed essentially on the automation. That seems to be a sticking point. So good look for Tesla and some of these automakers separately. We're all waiting for that 10/10 event, October 10th, the robo-taxi day, and that's the biggest part. But according to this analyst, there might be other product launches as well. So be on the lookout. We're definitely going to be covering it October 10th. Make sure to check it out.
We want that. So my expectations are, I'm hoping that they have a cheaper vehicle, but I'm not putting out that expectation in myself because I think the market's going to hate it if they don't have it. And I'd be a little bit wary of that. Randy, thank you so much for this. Tesla at the robotaxi event, like, will they actually have, like, show us like an update, cheaper model? I'm kind of like, great if they do, but if they don't,
I'm going to say no.
You're saying no? Yeah, I don't think.
No, I don't think a Model 2 is anywhere on the horizon right now. But who knows? Don't get your hopes up.
I'm trying not to get my hopes up.
My
hopes are getting better now that I have a warm tea.
Let me know about Oasis. I forgot to get in there and double check today.
Are you going to?
There's some more available. Trying to buy those tickets up. Sold out already. All right. So Tesla today. Look, man. I mean, it's so crazy that I'm going to be down on this stock because, man. I mean, I don't have too many nightmares, but we may have one today. Yeah. Look, we wrote down here the number one trade idea today was Tesla 245. We talked about it could go from 245 to 250. I mean, basically, at 8 o'clock, it's as if this 8-ball doesn't mean anything. There's 245. There's the bottom of the day. Here's the retracement rate to 250. But unfortunately, once it was breaking 250 here early, we liked that long. All the money made here, absolutely fine. But then it didn't hold VWAP loss, didn't hold the 200 loss, didn't hold I don't know what I'm doing here, didn't hold 246, loss again. Then finally we were able to buy this back. We were able to get 245s and make back like maybe a third of what we lost, something like that, because we just didn't have that confidence that we should have. If we're not involved right here, then man, when this thing comes down to 245, oh boy, do we have that, and it's a completely different day. But at the end of it all, we'll be red on Tesla, and it's embarrassing. We just should have waited for it. Again, you can't predict that these moves are going to happen, but when we write it down, I mean, we're writing it down for a reason. So right there, we should have had that trade, and unfortunately, we don't. So that's my bad. It's a great one. Make sure you follow me at TraderTV Sean. These trades are all over. I mean, there's other names on here too that we'll talk about as we go. But right now, it's Palantir. Thankfully, we have those diamond hands for PLTR.
Broke $40 today, Sean. I mean, wow. This thing's been a rocket ship, 1.5% again today. No headline, but we know that we've been reeling after Peter Thiel announced that he had concluded selling. He sold about 12.5 million shares at an average price of $36.85. He was selling between the 27 and the 1st, I guess, maybe because that's such a big position, the market buying up. I was just reading an article, actually, an options volume article by Benzinga. It says 69% of the options being bought today are bearish, with 20 some odd percent being bullish. Can't see that really on the price chart, though.
Snowflake?
Okay, no, I didn't trade Palantir today.
No, nobody did.
What just hit the bid?
It's not about trading. I think we're just supposed to look at it.
No, I know. I thought maybe you were going to lead with it. That's fine. Because I had some comments I wanted to make about Snowflake, which
I can talk about Palantir.
Like, I usually think they're pretty adjacent to each other. But the look on Palantir, I think let's just try to keep it simple. If we can't sit here and pull up a chart of Rivian, let's just say, it's the first thing that came to mind, right? And we're like, it's a short till it's not. But then when you look at something like Palantir, this is a weekly, not even a daily chart, right? So like this is the last 4 weeks. Now, one of those weeks, last week, was probably the only one that should have been remotely frustrating for the long since it broke out that high, right? Like these are all very big days, and if you just look long every day, you're probably going to be good. There was a little bit of frustration, but 3 out of 4 weeks, you're golden, and you're probably, I mean, you get to 45 that high. There's one more leg to go. If you look at this last week, made 10% move from bottom to top here. You do that again over 40, and you're going into the resistance from 2021. So I think that's pretty reasonable in terms of an expectation on Palantir. I can go to it first before we talk about Snowflake, because I feel like Palantir might drag Snowflake along with it, but it hasn't gone yet. As far as the afternoon, my only concern would be, I feel like it did a trend reversal already. Like if I'm looking at this and I was trading Palantir, like if you were long, in here, like it kind of already did the we're just trending up, and then there's your trend reversal, and you're going to pull back. Maybe 39.60 where that connects. You can find some support underneath VWAP, but like the trend line broke, it accelerates. Like look at that. I drew that trend line on the 15-minute. Look at what happens when it rejected it here. Like rejects, tries to go, boom. Flush into VWAP, now you're stair-step down. So the long already happened over here. I'm just not sure, unless you're looking for some kind of a short. There's lots of names that you can short right now. And then the reason I wanted to bring up Snowflake is if you keep breaking out in the overall market and in Palantir, I'm just eyeballing this one. Long consolidation off the bottom, just waiting for it to break that 50, close above, give an entry, and then I'm going long Snowflake. If it never breaks this out, then I guess I never get in, and you wait for the next consolidation. But very distinctly different charts. I mean, when they came to market, there was always they're very simple, blah, blah. They were compared to each other, complete polar opposite charts. I do feel like it's about to turn, though, on Snow.
Just quickly here, Apple just touched that bottom again. We were not sitting there, so now we are. We're going to sit there at 66. We just touched it. I was actually waiting at 60, so got a little greedy there, trying to see about a little bit of a pullback there for Apple. Look, I talked about Palantir today. I was like, someone asked me early about it, and I said, I don't really like the 40 break, to be honest with you. It would have been fine. That first break would have been bad. It only went 10 cents, and it falls into VWAP again. So I definitely like the second retracement there, back into VWAP, then the break of 40. So much more confidence that second time it would have worked. And it did work. So good trading there if you did have it on Palantir. But again, the problems remain the same. It's a Friday afternoon. You're up 1.41%. We've already seen that high. I don't think it's worth getting into this and buying this right now. A couple nice candles. What a positive week it's been for Palantir, breaking out higher. I like the stock. I think it's a huge long-term play. Obviously, it is for me. We've talked about that. I'm not selling anything up here. I just think you want to wait for better prices. Right now, you're just kind of hovering. I'd say you either go long at the bottom or short at the top. I don't think we traded in the middle, and that's where it is right now. So congratulations, everybody that's long Palantir. It has this hard, often in the morning, it's pretty hard to get it. But right there, again, that dip into 39.50 twice. What a great level that was. Should have definitely had it.
Oh. Now that you put that back on, can we go back to Sean's chart for a second? It did the same thing at 36.50 the other day.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah, like when,
down here 36.50.
Yeah, like when Palantir shows you a double bottom and an uptrend, like those are just worth buying because you can have tight risk to the low, and then if it makes the high like it seems to do like 3 or 4 days a week,
this daily chart,
in the trend, that's your bread and butter. Trending stock up, double bottom at the open, so your risk to reward is golden on those.
I don't know. I guess he's done his lunch and everything. Biden right now says Israelis have not concluded what they're going to do about Iran's strike. So I guess that is potentially leading to more strikes or, yeah. So anyways, this market, I don't know. It's not really doing anything. Just letting everybody know that is the talk right now. So, just giving everyone a heads up on that. Biden's talking again and again. So we have it in our ear. Will sanctions for Iran are under considerations is what Joe Biden is saying. So we can see if oil starts moving around. But okay, let's go back over. It's Microsoft time. I haven't traded that in a minute.
That hasn't done much today, Sean. Kind of flat right now, up 0.1 or 0.18, whatever. Diablo 4, interesting look there. We know Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard, and apparently it's going to be the first Microsoft game that's going to be enhanced for that PS5 Pro that's coming out. I just like the name of this game, guys. The Vessel of Hatred. Jeez.
Haters ball. Before we get to Microsoft, I'm going to get to this super chat here because SP Williams just dropped $5 for us asking about stock sell. So we'll oblige because we already talked about Nvdia, but I think we can throw this one in here very quickly. You're saying stock sell short. It's always okay. It's when we don't know what the time frame is. I'm just going to play it by ear here and go over like the 15-minute and the daily chart. So when you're talking about ye old, I hate looking at this because it's an upward. It's a bounce play, and you've got the death cross going on here. But
oh, death cross, huh?
I know. And usually when it does a death cross and then breaks out the top, I'm thinking longs because everyone's trapped short, probably underneath the 40. So stock sell, you can see right here, where you have the resistance underneath that 40 level. And you've got a lower high that's being played into as we speak. Like it did a little bit of a gap fill, and then you've got this lower high 38 resistance that you're failing underneath. So at the exact moment, it doesn't really set anything up unless you're talking like swing, and then you'd have that price to that price or something along those lines. But whenever I see something like that, oops, I pulled away from it. Didn't mean to go there. Whenever I see something like that, where you're almost trying to break that trend, there we go. It's like a lot of people are probably looking at that short. I'm seeing like a channel of like higher lows being put in, and it just put another higher low for a test of this top. So it feels like to me that it's trying to generate some upside pressure. Like I don't necessarily see a short at this level. I see like the makings of a long that's going to squeeze out some of the shorts that are playing this trend and like, yeah, they're going here to here. I think they get squeezed out there, and I'd be looking for the next like long breakout. So that's just my 2 cents on it. Like I would be doing nothing until it breaks out. Microsoft is interesting that everyone wants to talk about it. The convergence of the 50 and the 200 on the daily is interesting. It's forming a bit of a consolidation spot. And when that happens, I'm thinking it's going to go sideways the rest of this afternoon. I would not be surprised if it goes sideways off of this range for the next few days as it picks a direction off this 50 and 200 period moving averages, both of them at the same spot, and you're seeing it absolutely not move off of those levels. So I'm not interested in Microsoft till it stops barcoding off of this 417, finds buyers over 420 or buyers underneath 415. Until that happens, like let it break away from here and then join the trend away from that price. That would be my 2 cents on Microsoft. And most people, when picking a more expensive Mag 7 name to trade, Meta's been giving you the juice. So Softy's been left by the wayside. I still like the company, but I don't know what you do with it at this price except wait for it to pick a direction and then join the trend once it does.
All right, I mean, Microsoft here, we talked with Brian Shannon, MSFU is another one you could trade if you wanted to get a little bit of a lower price name. But for me, I just think it is a clear long. I mean, there's not too many names, again, that are Mag 7 that have this moat around them like Microsoft apparently does, that are back here down to the 200 period moving average. I really like it. I think it makes sense down here to start to buy some of this. You know, you do have earnings coming through end of October. So yeah, Microsoft could be a little volatile into that, but I've got 99 problems, but Microsoft longs aren't one. I think this is going to be a great opportunity to pick something up here. And I might just rotate out of some of these names and buy some more Microsoft. I like it. I like Azure there. I like what they're doing with ChatGPT, obviously. And yeah, more greens, blue skies ahead, I guess, for Microsoft. I like the stock. Hadn't traded it in a while live on the show. But now that it's come down a little bit, I think it's probably a little bit better to trade in and around $400. But still, yeah, I don't know. I like the name. Just haven't really looked at it recently for the show. So Microsoft, I think it's a buy heading into earnings. I'll leave it at that. I mean, I think you can start nibbling away at some options here and see if it gets going back up there to the upside. If the market can hold these levels above 20,000, I think Microsoft's a winner.
.4.5% and retaking, I should say, that 170 level is AMD. I could not find a headline for this, guys, but there's chip strength today, I guess, on the back of the non-farm payrolls. No specific, again, catalyst for AMD, guys, but, widely speculated to be an Nvidia competitor. Breaking through that 170 look right now. What's your look on this?
170.
It's breaking out. That's what's happening. That's the look on AMD. So on the daily time frame, all right, I've drawn better trend lines, but I feel like it doesn't really matter. You can sort of see it's breaking the top of the trend, or at least at the top of the trend line here as it continues to go. There was a local break that, like, hindsight's always going to be 2020. I don't know that I would have been looking at this like 164. It gets a lower high, and then you break it out at the open. So I can understand, like, why would I want that breakout? Let's see what it does when it goes to resistance from yesterday. But what you can usually do is, so this breakout you don't take from this level, 164.5. However, it dips into 164.5 and then holds. So, okay, well, now you've broken out that price. You've dipped that price, it's good. If you're not in it, buy the next available dip. So it makes the higher low off here, go long there, play into the prior high. I trailed it when it broke the high of the day and then got at 170. I think this stock it's making a new leg right now. So you got a new leg to the upside. I mean, clearly, like the high 170s and then into 180 is going to be resistance on AMD. Might be a consolidative afternoon because it's a Friday. Like that's always a possibility that we don't really go too much further here in AMD. But 4.5%, and it's now fully in breakout mode as it seems. Like AMD is fully capable of running. It's not just the Nvidia show. We've seen this make some big runs. It gave up like $70, and now you're just getting a lot of that back as the market's racing toward those highs. So I like AMD. I feel like as long as it holds probably the 168 this afternoon, and come in next week and think long as well.
So again, we'll sit here and pretend like we're professional traders, but honestly, that AMD right here breaking 169, I mean, that's what we needed to wait for. Unfortunately, we got involved there when it dipped down into the low of what then was a level I thought could hold there, 166, but it does not. All you had to do was be patient. We had that order set. I mean, I canceled it, but we had this order set to break 169. We talked about that earlier. We talked about it as it was happening. It just didn't break. And then finally, when it does break, of course, then it goes nothing but upside. And if you waited for that 169 break, then you have it, and you have it right here, and you're $1 in the money. It's a very, very simple trade, and yet again, we don't have it. So whatever, man. I mean, talking about what we think could happen, nothing matters until you put the trade on. So we should have that 169 long, and we don't. Right now, you're looking at it, and you're saying, okay, what's this market going to do? You think the market's going to fall, then you got to be short right now almost on AMD. For me, I would pick another name. Obviously, here we go. We're short on Microsoft, on Apple. We were just like well in the money down there and kind of ignored it right now. So we were about 70 cents in the money and didn't take it. Maybe if it comes back in, we'll be able to get a fill there. But yeah, AMD, guys, honestly, like, that was missed. You could have had that 169. It was honestly easy day trade. And the fact that we don't have it, or I don't have it anyways, I can only talk for myself. That was just another easy trade there. So should have had it, don't. It's a nightmare. But anyways, today I feel like it's been a little bit of a funny day. There's been a lot of great opportunities and just missed them because of that number this morning. Like everything got started going real early and it just didn't give you sort of like basically the air was already in these stocks, and then when the market opened, it came out. So when that air came out of all the names, it was very, very hard to try to find a bottom until it showed it to you.
Yes.
And I think that's the big thing there. It's like you just had to be patient with it all day. And the best example of that, of course, is Tesla, where it should be like we shouldn't even be trading the rest of the month. Like that's how good this 245 trade was. And unfortunately, we just don't. I have it, but we only made back what we were losing. So it's really too bad. A lot of great opportunities here today. Thanks for all the questions, or thanks for all the stock symbols. We'll continue to look for more opportunities here as the day goes on. I'll probably just try to stay long, try to get out of this Apple, try to find some longs here into the close. As the market's up, we're above view up and above the 50-period moving average.
There's a couple of strong pullbacks. I mean, after getting out of AMD, I don't know where the entry is going to be on that one just yet, but I wanted to get to a super chat that we actually just got. Thank you, Chris S. Actually, no, before I do that, there was a news story on Boeing resuming negotiations is what I heard. But, I mean, it's spiked, $1.50. It's already starting to pull back. The volume's drying up. I don't know how active it's going to be off that. You can see it's not really moving anymore off of this. So Neil and Katina, man, I would like both your takes on this to help better my analysis. EVGO is the ticker. And would you guys have taken that long or short at 760? I saw buyers being exhausted because out volume was half of yesterday. So, all right, let's pull up EVGO. I can tell you the EVGO was a very popular ticker, generally speaking, on the floor. So there were a lot of people that were looking at this. So would you have taken the 760 long or short? The problem with this is when it's hindsight analysis and it's the high of the day, the easy answer is like, oh yeah, I would have shorted it. Well, there's no, like it's a blue sky setup. It's a day two play. You saw what trying to short things like Clover when they're just trending up can get you. And sometimes it gets you in a whole heap of trouble. So it's easy enough to say you saw the supply in there and you had the reasons in the tape to go long or short. I can just say that when there's no resistance level up there, I don't have an indicator that's telling me to go short at that price. And I wasn't watching the tape when it was at that price, so I can't say whether I would have. Now, the only thing that I would usually employ up here for a reversion trade would be here's a consolidated bottom on the last breakout, and then there's a trend. So you get the late break in the middle of the day. So if I'm looking late day reversion, I go there to there to there. It does a fail of that level, retest of the high, like that. Like that's a short, but that's based on like a trend line reversal. Like I can't say that, oh yeah, I would peg the 760. I think like more like the 750 in here based on this. Like that's the only trade that I could have made if I wasn't looking at the stock because it gave me a trend line reversal trade. But if you're up there and you see it go sideways, reject a couple of wicks, and you believe in what you see in the tape that they're selling and buying exhaustion there, well, you're risking less than 10 cents on that trade. Sometimes you just have to trust your gut. The trend reversal is the only thing that I could say I would have done if I was trading EVGO. Because a lot of times when these things are just going higher and higher and higher, I'd never want to chase them up there when I don't have a profit target in mind. I don't have an entry system for the long. And a long off of these levels, sure, because you've got this support there, you can buy that dip, you can buy that dip, that all makes sense. But off the top, trust your gut. I would only go for that trend reverse myself, though.
Yeah. Okay. I know I'm long, short here, Apple, but I am kind of thinking long. So, I mean, that's going to be a little bit of a problem here into the close for me. So maybe we'll take a piece out. I mean, even if we get it out at O's right here, why don't we just put a piece out at O's as I'll switch it over and get a bid now. So hopefully we'll be able to get that right there. Okay. And then I was still going to wait for this 224.60 area. Maybe we can get something down there. Maybe we can't. But we'll put a bid now on Apple right here at VWAP just to take a piece out. I don't know if this market's going up or down. But again, good number today. Feel like that makes a little bit of sense. Let's check out the Fed rate tool here quickly to see what we're doing on that. We'll hit a little refresh. Maybe, 99 I just saw there. All right, so that's for November. What? 475. Oh, so there's not even anything the other way right now. So right now it's 99%. Is this right? That they're going to cut 25 quarter point.
Basically, it's now locked in.
So now it used to be 60, and then 50 was another opportunity, right? Because the Fed funds rate now is 475 to 5. So there's a 1% chance right now of no cut, and 99% the other way. And then for December right now, you're going to there's another quarter point. So looks to be the same. So still that 50 points. But we talked about this early this morning. Rewind to 8:30. It was like 60-40.
Yeah, it was very different.
And right now, obviously, with that jobs number showing that the economy continues to be really strong in the job market, thus exactly what Powell was talking about. Let's see some strength continuing so that we can stay on that 50 basis point cut into the end of the year. So 25.25 looks to be like what they are interested in. So good there. All right, you talked about SOXL. We can have another look at that as well. I know Neil just went over it. 36 and 20. Thing is, remember, I want to go long, so it's got to get above here. So for me, not setting up for SOXL right now. I'd like to go long on something, and this one unfortunately not setting up for me right now. That is SOXL, so we'll pass on doing that. I've kind of narrowed what I'm looking at a little bit here into the close, so I just want to look at some of the big names again. And not that we'd look at anything other than that. I do want to have a look at Rivian. Rivian obviously was moving around today as well. Again, this was a mistake. Like, we can really tell when we're sort of like reeling here a little bit, right? Like Amazon, when it was falling down, none of the longs were working. We kept on getting some before eventually it dumped out. Now, is the long still working now? I'm going to say no. I don't, that was a nice bottom. We've already made that at 11:30. Then that high of 186, that wasn't significant enough for me to do anything. So right now, for strength, I would not be looking at Amazon. I just, underneath everything, VWAP is high. This is high. The 50-period moving average, we're underneath it all right now. So that's going to be a hard pass for me. PayPal keeps on coming up for some reason. Let me have a quick look at why PayPal keeps on hitting on the scanner now. Again, I guess it's because it keeps on hitting the 50-period and making a move underneath it. But for right now, not much happening here either. I think a drop down into VWAP might be a play. Need Nvdia to break 127. Yeah, Biden is speaking as far as I know right now. So we'll get.
There was a question about oil. About why did oil tank? I think it had to do with some of the comments, and then there was a volume spike because the futures just closed on the oil futures market. So my guess it would just have to be, Biden was talking and whatever he said, I wasn't listening, to be honest. And so it could have.
Well, they were just saying that they are also going to try to look for some resolutions and this
maybe
and that. So maybe there's
I think
something
that's good.
there. I mean,
That's what we want
Google's at a level. I mean, Google, everything's barcoding.
You seen Shopify?
Well, maybe we need to look over at something that's moving.
So I'm going to check to see what's going on with Shopify, if there is a story. Maybe it's just, hey, we're strong. Shopify was breaking out the other day. But you're at the high, like how many things are at the high of the day right
Shopify.
now? So 4.5 points. Okay, AMD was at the high of the day, but we already knew that. Shopify, look at the consolidation
double
breakout.
from August.
Like 81.3. Like that August 5th bottom. I know there were a lot of good opportunities to buy. My gut reaction that morning was to pick up, like stable names. Like in my personal account, I bought I bought Microsoft and Meta. And then that morning, which was the dumbest mistake ever, I was like, we're just going to try and take one long, and you couldn't get fills at the open because there was no liquidity. You should just try to take everything long. That was a learning experience. You just spread it out. But Shopify might have been the best buy that morning. I don't know why I would have thought of that. I wouldn't have. The 50 period just held. It's not through. Okay, so it's through here, but you still have a ways to go for the highs, the 52-week highs. Oh, I just did that thing. I have to zoom out again. So you still have a ways to go to get to the, it's actually a February. I thought it was January. The February highs are in the 90s, but Shop seems to want to get there. So you're getting a consolidation break finally that just happened past 81.25 and lots of room. So next level up, call it like 83, 84. But Shopify's on one right now. This is a good break. It's on the day trade. I mean, obviously, you can see it's consolidating off that high. But on the higher time frame, I feel like as long as you hold on to 81, this one is probably making that next leg up to 85. It's been a very, very strong trend for sure. Just want to give an update. I got a fill on SMCI last time I was down here. It spiked down in front of 41 and then got a bounce, put in another lower high. So since it got to VWAP, you now have a pretty decently distinct trend. Oops, I didn't click on that. Decently distinct trend. That's not a great trend line, but you get the idea. So it should be a little bit higher. But if we break this trend, I should jump out of it, wait for it to get back into VWAP. So I'm holding on to this, but I'm not really thinking about adding at this point. Now instead of spiking away from the trend line, which is what you like, now you're just riding the trend line. When you're riding the trend line, I'm thinking about getting out if it breaks back out above. So not really, and SAVE's going sideways here. There it is. I'm on these bids. I'm in this short. I was in this short, no good. I was in that short, no good. I was in that short, no good. And now I'm just in this one. So I feel the way I feel about Spirit here, SAVE, is the way I feel about Bed Bath & Beyond. So try it today, 0 for 1. If it doesn't break, if I'm looking at the same levels not tomorrow, on Monday, where you're underneath 178 or back into the previous close, wherever it happens to close. If it's underneath there and it gaps underneath those, I'm looking short to that previous high. And if it doesn't work 2 days in a row, then maybe this one isn't going to do a Bed Bath & Beyond. If it does work on Monday, then I'm doing the same thing on Tuesday. That's going to be my approach. We have to pay for locates on that. But yeah, I'm kind of feeling like the market does seem to want to go a bit higher here. But the stocks that I wanted long, I don't see a great entry in AMD at this point unless it pulls. It needs maybe pull back into 168.75, which was that prior high. And then we can go dip buy hunting. And then Meta is absolutely on one as well. I don't see a good entry point into Meta at all. It's just all-time high every day, not every other day. Let's go to Adara.
We're going to take a look here and summarize, recap what happened during this midday session for anyone that wasn't trading during the lunch hour. We did have a nice base form here on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. NASDAQ slightly higher than the S&P 500 as of right now. Again, Fed School will be making some comments right before the midday that the market was reacting to, basically saying that those stronger than expected non-farm payroll numbers were a good sign. We also had lower than expected unemployment rate, so 4.1% versus 4.2% expected. So still some market reaction to that. It's worth noting we just had Sean and Neil there talking about the Fed funds rate. From what I'm seeing as well, there's actually some traders now seeing a less than 25 basis point cut in this next meeting. So lots of lowering from a 50 basis point cut expectation to 25 basis point cuts. We also had during this midday session, former U.S. Secretary of the Treasury Larry Summers saying that the Fed made, quote, a mistake by cutting rates to the extent that they did in September. Some stocks on watch. We had a lot of small caps on the move. We had this PEV, Phoenix Motors, still up almost 200% here today. This one they did have earnings here, stronger than expected earnings per share and revenue for their first fiscal quarter, increasing there on a year-over-year basis. And last but not least, we have to talk here about Shanson International, CHSN. Not seeing any news on this, under 5 million share float, quite a few holds there for this name. So currently open as of right now, about 203, or sorry, about 7 million shares traded here on the day for CHSN. So what a day, guys. What a way to end this first trading week of October 2024.
Thing was like HKDing for a minute, because I remember someone in the chat was, I don't remember who it was, on the morning show, they're like, this thing's been halted for an hour. I'm like, stocks don't halt for an hour. So I went over to the trusty Halt page, looked it up. I'm like, oh, this thing's been halted for an hour. I wonder if they're going to reopen it. Every now and then, so if you're new to this, when you hit the halt bands and go halting for limit up or limit down reasons, it's usually a 5 or 10 minute halt. That's standard. Now, the reason it ends up longer than that is should be a lack of liquidity. Now, I can think of one case where that wasn't true. That was Funware. There was no problem with liquidity. They had no excuse not to open it back up again, and they held it anyways. But in this case, it was this one right here. It was 660 because I watched it. It was the whole time it was giving an indicated open of $13, which is a double up after it already doubled up. And so I'm supposing they were halting until there was like a reasonable amount of liquidity. Eventually, they probably just gave up because it was still higher. So trading this is, if you have like some kind of a halt to halt strategy that works for you, I think this is probably your bread and butter. If you've got like, okay, it halts once, there's no liquidity, I get in this halt and hold it till something, and if you do that, then that's the only thing you can trade here. Because while it's done 7.6 million shares, it is not opened and had consecutive bars. It just opens, then halts again, and then opens and it halts again. So that's not a trading strategy that I think any of us do. But if you have it, you never go broke taking profit. I find that one incredibly amusing, but that's all it is for us. It's like an HKD early on kind of story. We did get another super chat here. This one from Hayden Griffith. Sanity check on Nike going into the close. Back into the 82 to 82.25 channel. Do I look to get out if it breaks back above 82.25? So you're obviously in the money on a short, I have to assume, if it breaks back above here. Sometimes history just flat out repeats itself. So Nike, look at the short yesterday. Basically the same high, then consolidate, give you some nonsense around VWAP, but eventually give you a clean VWAP breakdown into 82, and it's holding 82 another time. So I think that makes total sense to me. If it's trading just like yesterday and the market's trying to bounce, well, then if it breaks back above the channel that it couldn't yesterday, then you can get out of the short because you got to take profit somewhere. I don't like what Nike's doing the last 2 days. That said, that 82 bottom where it's consolidating, right at the bottom of the trend line since its recovery. So this is a good spot. If it can settle down right around here, maybe break back out above 84, 85, I think then it would be a long into the 200 period moving average. You got the 50 period underneath, you got 80 even underneath, and you've got a trend line underneath. So that makes sense why it's catching a bit of a bid on Nike at these prices, despite the fact that it's incredibly weak the last 2 days. Great short, obviously, did what it did yesterday, but it couldn't break 82. We were shorting basically this range, and the 82 break would just never happen the entirety of the afternoon. Like you were getting 20 cents, 15 cents, 10 cents, and it never broke 82 even. Somebody's holding this stock up the last 2 days.
Never. Yeah, what's up, Paul? There in the chat, you just said you took 45. So you got to be, first of all, you got to be liking and subscribing to get into the chat. So make sure you do that as well. It is free, just like the show, by the way, just to let everybody know that. Thank you. Thank you, Fabian. It definitely does not take much effort. You said, right here you go, Paul, 45% on 0 DTE trades on Apple. I just want to say, which way are you? Are you short or are you long? Because this is the frustrating part when it comes to trading the way we trade. We have to wait for something to happen. Like if we had 0 day to trade options right here, then yeah, maybe this would have come into play already, but so far not the greatest here for that. So we'll have to wait to see if we get a fill down to the downside for Apple. I'm still bidding, so I'm bidding O's now. We sort of talked about that. So to Paul and everybody else that is in maybe potentially this trade with me or not, I am looking to get something out here if we come back in. It just doesn't want to go lower here, and I'm not sure the market does either. So we'll have to wait and try to be patient here with the market in and around this level. So if we can't break it, then Apple floating back down in, we'll take that bid, man, 10 times out of 10. So hopefully that will come through for us. And then I just want to say again, for anybody looking at this Apple trade, I'm going short more until we break this level. We won't be like, layering into it, but we are up on Apple today, obviously. We've had some big trades here. So we're playing with house money. That doesn't necessarily matter, but we are looking to make some more plays here on Apple. So shorter into here, fine. And let's just see that the futures will just play this same range. So hopefully we stay in this range. There's only an hour, 20 minutes left for the day, and only an hour left until those imbalances come through. So for me, Apple will just sit here and wait a couple minutes and wait for those fills. Hopefully it comes in. We can sit on our hands right now. Yeah, it's funny that you just mentioned this, Sebastian. I wanted to go over to Palantir. So I do think that it's a short. Just because you have under VWAP, under the 50-period moving average, under the 200-period, which is at 40, giving you some love into this 40. So, yeah, it's probably a short back in. I don't know, man. I don't want to talk about something and then not really have I like it, but then I don't really want to put it on. It's like, if I liked it, I would put it on. So I do like that idea. If anything, I think Rivian's had its day. We looked at 980 before. We said if it breaks it and we want to go short, it does not. It comes right down into 982. So just like that Tesla trade, where if you were only trading Tesla today, you should have probably made a lot of money, I would think, if you were looking at that 245 level, which we were. If you were trading Rivian today, same way. A lot of opportunities down there at this low. It just does not break. So you'd have to be thinking long, hit it right into those levels, and then boom, huge move. Like even if this breaks 980, you're not getting 60 cents. That's 60 cents right back upside off of that level. So again, great trading there on Apple, on Rivian, if you found that level, but you had to find it. We did, but you have to be on there looking at it. All right, just got an alert of Apple being back at the 50 period. So yeah, that is where it is, but nothing happening on that stock. So we'll hold off on there. Google's moving around, but not really. There's nothing. MSTR,
62.
Yeah, it's really ripping. MSTR into the close. Okay, we can have a look at this for 0-day options. I think that this is always a good opportunity to have that look. So yeah, with Bitcoin starting to go again, yeah, this is actually looking real good. I would say long. You've broken above now on MSTR. You're trying to get above this 175. You break 175, then yeah, because this is a highly levered tool to Bitcoin, look at the moves that MSTR's had over the week. It's been a nice move higher here. I think this is a great breaking spot. Breaking 175 long, yeah. I don't know which way you're thinking right here, Dreamy Classics, but if you're dreaming about MSTR, then I think that it would be a long right now. With crypto finally starting to go, IBIT, looks like it was trying to go as well. We talked about some Mara down there today. That's actually been a really good stock to trade as well. And there it is, 35.50. I think it's the same trade. Breaking longer into the afternoon. I mean, I like Bitcoin here. I think it can work at these levels. So, yeah, I think MSTR into the long for sure. If you're short, I don't know if I like that. The market's not doing anything, but Bitcoin's above 62,000. So good little look there. MSTR long, yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So if you're asking that, I would say yes.
The crypto names are the strongest things out there.
I know. Damn
it's like crypto, Shopify, and
Tesla?
AMD. Like those are the rocket ships. Like your dogs right now. Like the thing is, the dog is, to me is Micron, but shorting. I mean, Nike's at the lows too. But like right here, you're red. The market's green. I'm pretty sure every chip, I think every single chip name is green today except for Micron. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think I've seen one that is going to be red. Is that you really going to short the low of the day? If we do roll over, I feel like Micron's good. I know there would be really tight risk in here. I've been waiting for it to pop up and give you a reasonable entry. Like it would be ideal. morning lows, 102, 20, 102, 30. Like bump into this range, get a nice lower high going on what's obviously a weak stock, and try to short it. But it feels like it's making a bit of a bottoming, and I want to wait for it to give you a good entry point. Uncle Ron, slowest leak in Tesla ever.
I mean, it is leaking off 250. It's not a horrible call.
Actually, yeah, you're right. Like it's almost back at VWAP in here. It is a very slow leak. That 250 level has been, I still feel like the breakout had potential at 254. Because if you remember what happened on delivery day, when it was losing this level, which happened a couple of times in the pre-market, which about the 57, 58, the bids were at 54 and the bids were at 50, 51. So like if you were going to fill that gap in, to me, you were going to get 54s on that long, and I still believe that. Like the day that we really take that 50 level and get through 51, you're going to 54. Maybe that's just the next week thing, and there's too much resistance on a Friday. 250, obviously a very big option level. I'm sure there's just a ton of open interest there at 250 specifically. All right, I'm going to go back over to SMCI. It's trying to get back into VWAP. It hasn't quite gotten there yet. You're maybe 10 cents away, so looking for the re-entry. Not many things are giving you a VWAP setup that I can see. Oh, what am I talking about? I just said Micron's the only chip name that's down. SMCI is down 0.6. But Micron's at the low of the day. This one's at VWAP. So yeah, this and Micron are the two ones that are.
I was thinking here, if you look at AMD and you change this over to a 5-minute chart, you do have, so we're in and out of this. So whatever, not in it right now. But here's the flag pole right here. We're starting to form, a little bit of a pattern up here where it's kind of looking bearish to the downside off of that top. But the fact is that we're up 4 and a bit percentage points. So I actually want to think about a break of this 170 through this high of the day. So let me just double check. Here's the pole. Here's it settling out. Let's play a break longer. You could play the break shorter as well if the market fails. So what would these levels be? Let's zoom in just a little bit here to see. So again, pole up. This is 169.25. We're a little ways away from that one. And do you want to fight what's been a strong market? We've talked about I'd rather go long into the close right now. So I'm going to take this break. 170.40. That's a 170.35. So 170.36. Let's put that order in for AMD. We do have Apple still. We will go short a little bit on that if it does come into play there. But I like this break just of the high, 170 and change. We can give it back to 170. At that point, the 50-period moving average, right now it's at 168.73. That little wick down might get tested on a break, which would be 169.30. So I feel like you got to take as many shares that you could maybe hold $1 against you. Breaks won't always happen immediately. You saw that what happened with Tesla. It bounced around 250 before eventually going. And then it fell back in. But at the end of the day, it did eventually go. Where's Tesla? Oh, it's still a 5-minute chart. Let me go to a 1-minute chart, look a little bit better right here. So once it broke, it did dance around before eventually going. It got to 151 basically, and then fell off. So you had about 3 or 4 or 5 minutes of some back and forth there on Tesla. So we'll wait to see if there's going to be anything there. But I like that AMD break, so I'm going to take it. We are also averaging into, let me just make sure. All right, so it's still a ways away. Well, the order's in. So if you see me get into AMD, it's because it's taking out those levels. Now, the next thing that we have to do, because we're in Apple, we took a little small position here at 30 just because it was bouncing around. Ultimately, I'm sitting here at 55. Make sure if we get that order to come through, we'll take that short right here and then play it against basically a break of 60. Just giving it a little bit. I'd like to see it kind of just make its way up, give it 10 cents or so, 161, 225.65. If we break above that, then we can get out. Let's give ourselves like 10 or 15 cents worth of room if we get back to that high for Apple. Again, Apple red on the day, market green. I think it's worth stepping in here and seeing about that. Again, like this right there was 35 down to 65. So we just made like 60, 50, 70 cents on that move. We can afford this. That just went to 150. That's too bad, 225.50. We're at 225.54. So we'll put another offer there maybe in case it comes up, but I'm still waiting for that trade. We're waiting for AMD to break. So that's kind of the two things that I'm looking for there. SoFi's
been making moves. I want to just go over Duo for a quick second because there was a story when we came right on. They dropped an offering on This is that FANG thing. What's it called again?
Go if I have 6%, what the?
Fangold Network. No, FANG-DD. Yeah, FANG-DD Network, or however you're supposed to say that Chinese name. They dropped an offering about, I don't know, almost an hour ago. There is a bit of a bid coming in, and look where the bid happens to be coming into Duo, right at that 260 zone where it's supported before. So you're just going to keep eyeballs on this one. If it does try to retrace, like it halted down, halted up, and then showed obvious resistance in the 340 range, I'd like to think it's going to have trouble if it breaks 3 again. Locates for us were 1/8 of 1 cent per share. Like that's the kind of, it's basically free. So even though there's only an hour left in the day, pay for them because they're essentially free. And if we see a short entry, then I like that. So Duo offering down 25%. There was also, let me go over Nvdia first. Yatube was asking about Clover because Nvdia, all of a sudden, morning resistance, you're starting to hold above. So what I like that you're going higher lows into this. So I want to see us break this, take out this high, and then give it back to the 124.50. So I'm looking for that next wave of strength in Nvdia, if it can just pop higher. If it can't do that, then we just wait for VWAP, maybe a dip buy on VWAP. And Yatube, Clover was a disappointment for a lot of people today. But, and there's always a but, we were talking at lunchtime while we're eating those pretty decent Montreal smoked meat sandwiches. And we're mentioning, I was talking to Adam and a couple of the traders, when you have that lull and in the morning or sometimes late in the day or in the middle of the day, it can happen. Look out for some of those runners, like Clover was a big runner, that failed at the open, have found a consolidative bottom, and then are then barcoding. So you made a consolidated bottom. Everyone that was like, oh, it's not going today, we give up. Let's just trade something else, right? So that's what they did. Makes the run. Look at the consolidation off of VWAP. Now, it's not really doing a big move, but this is the idea that we'd be setting up. Where it breaks about 4 or 5 here, your stop is at 4, and then if you were looking at this, you'd be long at like 5 or 6 with not a lot of risk, and if it happens to go, it happens to go. The problem is it's not going. If there was volume coming into this, I'd be all over it, but it made that break after the long lunchtime consolidation and decided to do a whole lot of nothing. So for myself, I think this is one that I'm going to stay away from if we're looking for some of these small cappers. I've seen a couple of people mention Serve, though. Yeah, I've seen this come up a couple of times, Serve. It's one of those linear moves that I just distinctly don't like joining. If you're long, it's a great hold, but there's no clean entry point since about $8.50 if you're looking at it. And then on the daily chart, like Serve is right at resistance. 935, 935, not even 935 today. So it's going right into the top, makes it tricky to buy. Feel like it needs to clear out the high, show some buyers above that top, and then you can work into it. So Serve looks good, feels a bit trappish on the back half of a Friday to want to be long at that top. I think maybe you'd have to pull back into the 865, 870 range to look for a reasonable dip buy that you go into. So Nvidia is starting to go. It's making the effort here, at least Nvidia, trying to take out these highs. So I'm looking for an entry off this 1270 breakout, continue the trend, give it back into this resistance at 124.50. I just realized I didn't even put an order in to make sure we grab that break. So I'm just going to put the order in now so that we will be locked and loaded on Nvidia. If it breaks that top, I'm going to be in. I do have to monitor SMCI. Got level 2s up on both of those. And the good news is on that last push up in Nvidia and the push up in the market that's happening now, SMCI is not going. It's going sideways. So I'm actually going to cancel my bid at 41.1. And yeah, I think this is going to be a reloaded VWAP. If the market's pressing up and Nvidia is pressing up and this isn't going anywhere, like it just popped 2 cents, it's still a short SMCI until proven otherwise. So I'm going to get on the offer in front of VWAP in case we get it. And let's see if we can actually get that breakout. It's only 10 cents away from Nvidia breaking it.
You know what? Apple. All right, so we're long AMD. We talked about this would be a trade that we wanted to get. So we'll go long here. We'll put some offers in and around 40s. Sorry, 50s. We are long right now, 170.39. So there it goes, man. Nice little break higher there on this one. We also average into our Apple trade at the top end. So not great to be long one, short the other, but we'll wait to see what happens here with AMD. Give it a little bit of room. We said that would be something that we'd have to do anyways, right? So let's give this a little bit of room here with AMD. I mean, where's the pullback spot? We said we look at the 50 period, so it looks like that's pretty good now where we are on AMD. So I think we can definitely afford a little bit of a hit if it does come back in into that level. So 170 or so, I think, as a good little stop out spot for us on advanced micro devices. Let's put some bids here on Apple. I mean, hopefully it will drop in, and I'd rather win on both of these somehow. I think that AMD is going to be the one that can eventually go for us. We do have some offers upside on AMD, but we have to make sure that, okay, here we go. We got some 48s there. Let's see where we go now. 170, 169.89. So 169, like 84 or so break lower. We'll be able to get out of that. Let's see if it wants to go for us. So as that goes up, Apple coming down. So here we go, man. We got the double pipers right here. Good trading to happen. Let's see if we can get AMD up, Apple down right now. That'd be a good recipe for our success right now. So let's just see. Maybe we can get that to go. So, all right, Apple short. We just shorted that one. We talked about the price we wanted, right? We said 54s. That's what we have right now. We're short Apple at 54. Just took a little bit out as we went into the 40s there. So 15-cent winner right there as we have some diamond hands by waiting for that price. The question is now, can we? So we're 2 for 2 here. Like I'm giving you these trades. I hope some of you are having these. Let's just wait to see what happens. AMD is the one we're excited about here. Maybe Apple drops, maybe AMD goes down as well. But for now, we're holding out hope for this a little bit. We just got out of 10%, about 15% there. We got some at 48s and some at, I think, 48s twice. We'll double check that. But for now, we have some lower bids here on Apple. We're bidding 32. This is already, Neil, 20 cents right there in the money on Apple. Hopefully we get a little bit of a lower bid there to fill us out. But it's AMD that's falling just a little bit. But Apple going one way, AMD going the other. So far, so good here. Maybe we should have just stuck with the short in Apple. But right now, we'll try AMD at the high side.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get back into the same short that like the second I put my breakout order on Nvdia, it reversed.
No.
And when that happened, the second I saw that happen, I'm like going to reload back in SMCI, because if we're not going to break out this top, then I think reloading short makes a lot of sense. Apple's underneath VWAP or whatever's underneath VWAP, you should try to get. Duo did not break higher. I'll get to that in a quick second, but Micron is starting to go up. The weakest, it was so close.
Oh, look at
no
that.
No cigar, Micron. All you could do is go to 102. That's it. All right, so Micron does not want to go to 102.20. It wants to only go to 102 in reverse. It's trying to go green on the session. I was able to get a reload in SMCI, but we wanted this one at the quarter mark on Micron. It looks like an absolute dog. If it gets up there, great. I still like it. Duo, we wanted to short the next pop. Instead, it made another low of the day. Now it's trying to break higher. So here's the $3 level. Since the reopen, it's made successive lower highs. There is an offering. It's about to charge into 3. If it fails the 3 level on the way back up, I'm going to try and catch it on the way down. I want to see it wick up here. Like, see how you have the resistance here? Like 285 or so, where it's breaking and you get these like little candle wicks. If I see another one of those, I'm going to look to enter on the next, on Duo. If it breaks 3, then I just have to wait. So they did a 5 million offering, was the story that was about an hour ago. So see how it's spiking, needs to put in that wick, show me the rejection of those prices, and then I would look for the short. Instead, it looks like it's just going to break $3 here. Heck, it actually might go into a halt at 3. Nope, never mind, that was a fake halt. Got to $3, that was the halt band, and they broke it back down. So it could still put in that candle wick. That's what I'm looking for. Like, it's short that. We did reload on SMCI, but we'd like to get more into VWAP here. Like, we're at 30s. 40s is where we wanted and where we got it before. I think 41 is the easy out on SMCI. So no halt in Duo, still possibly setting up that short. But if it breaks out 3, then all bets are off. I'm not gonna fight it if it goes past the halt price.
Our best fill on Apple was 32, so that's 22 cents there, but it's coming back up, which is fine by me. We're actually out, so we actually only have a third left of Apple. So hopefully it will come back in. We talked about trying to get those bids, so that's exactly what we did there. We put on a much we told you what we were doing. We put on a much bigger piece. They're giving us 10 cents worth of risk. Let's take 20 and just move on from there. We still wait for AMD. AMD might have just hit that top and failed again, which, I mean, we've already been up here basically once, twice, thrice, and failed every time he came up here. So yeah, it might be the other way around. We're not out of that many of them. We're out of about 30% or so. We got some out again at 40 when it came back through there. But that was just like 10. We basically have 10% out here 3 times. So that's why we have about 30% out. So we still have 70% left of this trade. And I like it. I don't want to go anywhere with it. Let's just sit here. I mean, I don't love it. I thought we could break the high and then just fly. But you need to be patient a little bit. And we're trying to do that right here with that trade. So I might even just put another bid here to see if we could take 10 cents or so on this one. And of course, by this one, I mean Apple. So hopefully we can get some Apple love there and get that back in. But right now it's AMD. We're going to let this one fly. So there's Apple. We'll take another 10 cents. Whatever, man. We'll just go bang because we're just trying to scalp it out. Apple's going to be a top stock for me today anyways. We have the TQs is going to be my number 1. Then we have Alibaba number 2. Apple just on these trades number 3 here today. And then the last one to go would be Google, I guess, which is number 4. So I think, I don't know how many stocks you've traded, but I've traded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stocks. And I think we're 4 and 3. So the big losers there. Tesla down today. We talked about that and how embarrassing that is. I put my hand up for that all day there. That's a -1 there. Amazon also didn't hold. Anything that basically we traded in the first hour, we were only long, so that was bad. And that's it. So that, and that. And then AMD we're working on right now. The trade, this is why, oh no, it's going to crash. No, it's not good. The reason why Alibaba is such a successful name for me today would be this reason. We were short early. So all the names that we were long early will be our negative ones. So we'll have 4 wins and 3 losses here today. So 7 names, 4 and 3 on the day. And I'll be negative here on the day unless we get something going.
It was only early longs that lost for me. I'm looking at it because AMD was a late long, and then Intel and Rivian were short there. Sorry, I'm looking at this duo. So duo for me, like it's doing exactly what I thought. No, like it's doing the wick at $3. So there's another rejection above 290. You're getting the lower high. So if it can just kind of close underneath this 290 again, look for short into the low of the day. So it'll be we have to wait a couple of minutes in here to kind of confirm the weakness on Duo. And if it does, I'm going to look short into the low of the day. So volume's pretty good. Kind of looking pretty solid now, even just to give it to the 290. I just realized I didn't even have a stop in. The value, one of the good things about not just our platform, the gateways that we have available, and yes, the platform, is we have I can put in that stop order. We have multiple stop orders. One that's like get flat 100% of your position, and I can throw that at 290 and already be on the offer here. I didn't hit the bid. I did try what I've offered, then I tried to hit the bid, but it's down 27%. So when it was up here, just to understand why it didn't get filled. Why did it just get me? No, it did not break the top there. Right, I just punched out flat. All right, so it's SSR. So I can get 79s on the offer, but if it breaks lower and I want to chase it down to say 9 to 75 or something like that, you have to sit until you get an uptick. So you're basically waiting for an uptick to go short because it's short sell restricted. So if we break 290, I'm out. If it gets to the low of the day, I want to take profit halfway and then to the low on Duo, which is not Duolingo. It is FanGG something, the Chinese company. I always forget what the something is, to be honest with you. So SMCI, it's kind of going sideways in here. Nvdia, still in the same range without breaking that high, so we're probably not going to get that one. Tesla's not at VWAP, not at 250, not interested. Those are 2 places to trade it, I think. Yeah, not really that much going on. Is there any other symbols you guys want us to look at? Kind of let me know. Like Duo came in because there was news on it. Not really seeing too much of anything else. There was a news story on Boeing. Boeing tried to go up. Boeing failed. So that's probably a nothing burger.
Boeing.
You would have thought the resuming negotiations would be a good thing and they could sustain a bid off of that, but even Boeing couldn't.
What's up, guys? What's up, Penguin Dynasty? I'm going to read this. I have no idea what you're saying here, so let me just figure it out. Hopefully it's nothing too negative. Sean, even on your red days, I still give you massive props. Well, thank you for that, first of all, before I continue. Massive props. You're not just trading, but simultaneously running a freaking live show. Thank you so much. Most people in here can't even do one, brother. Thank you so much. And I'll take that GOAT sign there. But yeah, just, that's definitely not the case, but I do want to appreciate that. And we try to do it, man. We try to talk about, our trials and turbulences and all the stocks that we're looking to do here in trade. And then, whatever. Adam's here now. He could tell you about the realness and everything of what we're doing, and I'm sure he'll be doing that on the chat. We wish Adam, who's still in the back there, the best of luck and safe travels back into London. I want to thank you for those kind words there, guys, about it. So yeah, all right. AMD. So we're still watching out for this name. Again, who knows where we're going to go on it, but I still like the long. I do respect that there's some opinions there in the chat that I should probably get out of this Apple long. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I've been talking about longs. I've liked the long here in the afternoon. The reason why we're in this short is just because trying to just make a little bit off the top here, to be honest with you. If it hits, it hits. We only now have 30% left of this position. We just got another out down there at 40s or 42s or whatever it was. So we'll just get this out as it comes up. I do agree with you. We're above all these lines. The reason why we're short Apple is it's negative for the day. So Apple was down for the day. I'm just thinking to myself, if this market continues to go down today, then we know we have Apple. If it continues to go up, I feel like we have a strong name here in AMD, but AMD is still falling down in now again. So we're going to have to be patient, I guess, and wait for this AMD trade. I am trying to buy a little bit more low teens right there in Amazon. So that's another look for us, in AMD. That's another look that I'm interested in over there as well. So, all right, man, more to come, right? I mean, this is what we're doing. We're live every single day, trying to put on the best show we can and trying to make as many great fills for you and give you guys an opportunity to trade with us and hopefully trade accurately. And our positions will continuously update. Just want to thank everybody again for your continued patronage for the show, and keep throwing those questions in the chat, man, because we love seeing questions and answering them. So, all right, we did get some more AMD down here at that low. Now we're long at 31s. So as you can see, it's not like a huge amount of shares here that we're trying to roll around with, but we're just trying to see if we get a bump back into the high of the day here for the close. If not, if we lose 170, then we can get out of this name. So for now, that's what I'm looking at. It is AMD long. We just reloaded it there. Average price now 30s. And by the way, Apple's cracking. Apple's 20 cents in the money.
Yeah, the market's kind of having some trouble breaking out that high. I'm going to cancel temporarily the Nvdia breakout. It's starting to get away from that price. I don't want to punch the top of a move. I was just able to get a couple of fills on Duo as it's sliding down. For the amount of liquidity on it, there's probably the biggest buyer since I've seen this thing reopen at $2.65. So I'm just shaving in front of it. If I say I'm shaving in front of it, or I'm just bidding in front of that level, right? So if the order is at 65, I'm at 66 or 67. It's just an old term. It doesn't really mean anything on non-penny stocks. I'm going to bid in front of that 265. If it breaks that order, I'm holding through the low of the day over on Duo. So Nvdia, not really doing much. Obi just got up, walked past and said, "Are you guys seeing Meta?" Meta's glorious. Meta is absolutely glorious. That is it's an unbelievable trend line. There's no question. It's making fresh. Every time it ticks the high, it's an all-time high on Meta. That August 5th bottom, obviously, that would have been a pretty solid one on Meta, because it was an absolute gift on pretty much everything. Now you're getting fresh highs. It's just the problem that I don't see any really great entries on Meta outside of if you didn't take it right in here when it was breaking the 92. Maybe there was a consolidation in there. I'm not chasing tops up 2%. It's a great one, but I'm not going to chase the tops. Let's take the Duo. If it breaks low, we can hold on to that. SMCI is working down off of VWAP as well, so we'll take a bid in front of 41 even and throw it to Adara at the desk.
But I hear on Datadog, DDOG, not seeing any news on this one, but it's almost making new high of days here, up about 4%, getting some increased volume into the close. And I zoomed out a bit to show this has been on a bit of an uptrend over the last few days. It did get an upgrade to buy from D.A. Davidson on Tuesday. So that could be what's inspiring this move up. But a 2.75% short float for DDOG, also seeing a market cap of about $41 billion. So some details on Datadog, which has been strong throughout the day and looking to end the day on a high note, guys.
All right. Yeah, just real quick, man. We did get out some more Apple, so let's just spin that red, or we'll do a hot dog cannon for that one as Apple. Great short. Like, I thought the long was going to be hot there, but it looks like Apple's short is hot. And we were sitting here justifying to everybody about this trade, and it looks like this is the one right now. So 20 cents in the money on this. We're happy with it. We're getting out more and more now. We only have 25% left of Apple as we just take another fill right here right now at 40. Now it's a little lower. Maybe we'll put something at 14s just in case we do get that bleed all the way to the downside. So we'll put a bid down there, see if we get it. We are also bidding 25 flat right there. The reload on AMD is fine. It's just, it's not moving. So we're going to have to wait to see if AMD wants to give it to us or not. Back to the upside. We have a pretty easy out, man, breaking through 170. If that happens again for us. Okay, so it looks like my daughter obviously did qualify for cross-country because there's a bunch of more cross-country dates coming through here in the calendar. So I love you, Marissa, but it looks like it's going to be another busy one for us one more time. Okay, so AMD, here it comes back in. So this is where we reloaded it. Again, I'm fine. If it gets down, we lose 40 cents on this trade, we lose 40 cents. You never really want to be punching, especially when the market's like this, like a maximum amount of shares. We probably punched about maybe a third of what we would have if this was 10 o'clock or if it was 9:30 and there was a break level. But again, like the long here, and yeah, AMD up 4.5%. I can sit here and keep justifying it. At the end of the day, if it doesn't go, it doesn't go. We have our stops. We're risk managers. We're here to tell you this. Oh, wow. So she has practice every single night next week. So that's good.
Is active. She got
she doesn't
baseball,
even.
She's got hockey.
She's got everything. It's absolutely.
No, but the good
insane.
thing is, actually, I was going to say the good thing is if you're doing cross country and you're doing hockey. I mean, for cross country, like everything is cardio. So it's like
she's not going to
training for it.
I mean, I love her to death, and I think the world of her. But she probably won't qualify this next stage. She's not a runner. She's just athletic. So,
but it's really good for
I know,
like building mental endurance in cross country. If you're not, it's just. You have to battle past your demons when you do distance running. I don't care who you are, so it's really good for any kind of an athlete. Because then, like at the end of the game or in like overtime,
it's 2K. So she's 10 years old or 9 years old, and she's running the 2K. So a little far maybe, but we'll see what happens there. Okay, so that's AMD. So I just got some. I just came back up to 25. I did take another 10% out right there because again, where reload was at 12. So I know there's some nice reloads down there, but that's it. I'm not doing anything else anymore on AMD. We got that fill. I just took a piece out right there. Again, don't want to get too crazy with it here into the close, but we're long on AMD. Let's see if we can continue to go higher and higher and higher on this one. I have a big announcement to make. All right, big announcement to make. You ready for this, Brendan? All right, today on the closing recap show, I've got my man Joe. That's all you need to know right now. We will be answering questions. We will be talking options. It is Joe coming through on the after show. So join me and Joe as after show bonanza continues. We talked about the midday bonanza. The recap bonanza starts immediately at 4 o'clock or 4:01 or 4:02, whenever I'm ready. And we will have Joe coming through today. So if you are looking at options, you want to talk to the dapper Don himself, Joe will be here live in person at the closing show, on the closing show with yours truly. So we are very, very proud to have Joe as part of our team. And you're going to just see how special this dude is one more time again here tonight on the closing show. So we thank Joe for stepping up and doing that. I just went over there and asked him, I said, bro, we rocked it a couple Fridays ago. Let's just do that damn thing again. So we're doing it again. Joe and myself coming on the closing show. So excited for that one. Maybe it wasn't as, dramatic of an announcement right there, but you gotta hype it up. I
like it.
You gotta hype it up. You gotta get that hype man going on right now. All right, speaking about hyping stuff up, let's go AMD. Maybe we can get that going a little bit. Let's put something around 38, see if we get that fill. We just stopped around there. We're only long here at 30s again, but hey, like I told you, so far so good. Somewhat profitable, but flat right now as we sit here waiting for something to happen for advanced micro devices. Oh boy, did we do good getting out of that Apple trade. We talked about only having 25% left. It's getting close to going to the top again as well. Come on, AMD. Let's go, man. Let's take out this top. We talked about being into this one. We're able to average into it. It's advanced micro devices. I don't know if it's going to go, but if it is, it should go immediately right now. It's 320. Let's get some juice under this, man. I don't know if its brother is doing anything down here with it. No, it's trying to go, though. Get above 124.50 and see if we can go. But remember, I haven't traded AMD in months. We're in AMD today because, that's probably wrong, maybe 1 month, because it's more aggressive than the rest today. AMD up 4.5%. I like the long. So we're going to sit here, see if it can work. We are waiting for something upside. Maybe we'll get that, maybe we won't. But it is 170.38, so we wait for that fill, and hopefully that comes through, and we'll start to sort of piece this thing out and then hold. We're only out of 20% of this name. We want more. So we got a good reload there. Maybe we should have waited for it. It's AMD. Let's go. Let's see if we can get this one going, guys.
Did you say you want more?
I do. What is that?
You should always eat more in all of your trades.
Is that a new sponsor?
These trades brought to you, it should be, because I have like a case of these things at home. They're really great for camping. Which
Eat more. Okay.
And plus, too, they're not as bad as me eating like 5 million Snickers bars. So just a quick update here. I was able to get out in front of 41 on SMCI. I'm still holding on. So we had 41.35s. I'm now only into my quarters, so these shares are gone, and we're only these ones. I want to reload again. It's giving you 15, 20 cents on this name over and over again. There was a super chat here. I saw it. Rohit was asking you about, was asking about FSLR because Brian had suggested First Solar and was asking about that one.
Brian is out of First Solar.
So he is out of out of it. So Brian's out of his First Solar position. There you go. You have it from Sean. So if Brian was liking First Solar, if he's out, that means
he took a loss on it. I can explain it in a minute. Okay, here we go, man. Here goes AMD. Oh, shit. We are back in the building right now. Look, man, this is what we're talking about. We talked about why we liked AMD. We bought that dip. There goes AMD right now. Let's go. Huge trade here to the upside as we getting back into this mood right now. There it goes. Come on, baby. All we need to do is announce Joe on the show, and then here we go. It is huge for us on AMD. It's a 40-cent winner, baby. We'll keep going to the up. 40 cents. How about 50 cents? Come on, AMD. Let's go to the top side again. We're starting to break out. Maybe we can get going one more time for advanced micro devices. Where shall she stop? Nobody knows. And you know what? I don't know either. We're going to throw our hands up in the air and not get out anymore. Let's see how high we can go upside now on advanced micro devices. We did it, everybody. We did it. So there it is, man. We talk about the trades. We put the trades on. We put money in our pocket. And there goes advanced micro devices. So again, sit in your trades. Believe it. I don't have that confidence button. Thanks to Dara for that one, though. There's the confidence right there. Not only did we like it, we bought more. We sat in here. We talked about it. And that's that, man. It's a day topper right there. AMD ripping right now. We're up more on this than we're even up more even on this position than we made pretty much on Apple all day. So that's be a good trade here for AMD. It's a good thing we got that reload. Let's take some out at 69er right there to spin that money right there. And now, Neil, we will just sit back because we get the trade that we want. It's a doozy of a trade right there on advanced micro devices. So, man, we're feeling it pretty good now. Let's see. There it is. 75s. Okay. I mean, on the reload now, it's 60 cents in the money on that reload, but only 45 cents overall. So what's up, Sebastian? You're awake now? Good. Glad to have woken you up. Let's go. Hit the like and the subscribe.
Yes, sir. That's what it's all about. So sitting in the money is a good place to be. So we'll continue to do it. I'm throwing the order back in on Nvdia. It's finally heading back into the upside. It's 124.70 for me. Has to cross that 50 mark, and I'm breaking in at 70. The plan of action, just in case it happens real fast, it's going to be relatively simple. Break here, stop at the 50. If it doesn't work right away, I'm risking 20 cents on it. 125 is already going to be resistance here. You already saw it all morning long, all pre-market long. That was the top on the economic number that we had this morning. So going to play into that. Duo just cut another bid off that 65. A higher low at 70 came in. So I got another leg out. We'll get out the low of the day. We got the trade at the 79. I don't want to give it back in past break even. The way I feel, if you have a news-based moment or I guess move in this particular case, like when you want that downside, when it gives you this setup, you want that retrace to the low to happen a little faster. So after the news comes in, sometimes they slow down a bit. So it's going to end up working, but it's not going to give you that flush through the low of the day. The buyers are starting to step up, which can happen on an offering, right? Like usually you'll find it level off somewhere. I wanted to see if it could break this to get down into that 240 low that it put in maybe just last week. So Nvidia is going to try to go. I'm looking at Apple. Oh, my VWAP's off on that chart. I got to look at that. Guard here. No, Apple's nowhere near this level. If Apple presses into that sell zone at 227, I think it's a short. You saw what happened the last time we were here. So I know it's strong now. Going into the close, if there's time, it's almost 330, but there was sellers du jour, and then there wasn't even a chance for the sellers to emerge this morning because it just dumped at the open through those prices. So it enters into this zone, I'm starting to look short on Apple. Kind of waited for it to do that retracement most of the day, and Apple only now breaking VWAP. So it's about 226.80. If there's a pop late here on Apple, got to give it some time. But we might run out of time for that kind of a trade. I'm not going to have orders out there because I don't want to forget about it, then get put into position at 350. But here comes Nvidia. It's trying to make that breakout. We're looking for the break here, stop there. Sorry, the break here, order to there. And that's where my stop is going to be. I'm sitting in SMCI because as the market just broke the high, SMCI is consolidating lower. Well, I see no reason, if it breaks this bottom and breaks 41, I think we can get 40.70. And if we reload back, it'll have to be in the 25 to 30 range. So while the market goes higher, this just continues to be a short on SMCI. Just a dog for whatever reason, and we might as well stick with it. Tesla short, question mark, Robin Sandu, 250. I'm not really favoring shorts on Tesla. What I do like is I feel like 50 has been the bamboozlement level, and the real break is, can it take out 51? That's what's been happening since they announced their delivery numbers. 50, 51, any over on 50 has been a trap, and then the real break, I think, is going to be if it can take out that 51. So if it can trap some people over 50 before it gets to 51, I'd be looking for a reversion, but not right here. Because if you take it here, I feel like you have to give it to that local high. If you're going to short it, I'd rather get it off of the high, not $1 underneath. I'm not trying to average into something $1 at 327. I don't think you have enough time to make that work for you.
No, that's the other thing too. It is 3:30, so you got to watch out for that. So just so everybody knows, man, we only have a third left, exactly a third left of AMD. Like when that started going to the upside there, we rapido get out of our trades all the time. But I'm just waiting to get out of another piece right here. If it comes near that $40 marker one more time, so that's going to be, there it is. So we'll get at another piece here. See if we can have the diamond hands into the close. I just, with these imbalances coming through today, I'm just not sure what's happening right now. I know Mashworth, I hope that pretty soon we are able to sort of get going on some merchandise and things like that. That's more to come very, very soon. We'll have hats, and you see
ideas.
me with those sweatshirts on and all that kind of stuff that we continue to wear.
I'd love for people to be able to get the, so I know we have the mugs are pretty cool. I love these, like the milk bottle thing. It's great for, water, keep hydrated, going on with that. Like that.
Dusty. Yeah, but these hats are pretty cool. These dad hats we've got going on here. I got a couple of those as well. Thank you. But that's all right.
Fabian loves it.
Fabian loving. Okay, Fabian, come on, man. Come on, man. I mean, I'm very flattered right here.
Fabian.
Last thing you need to do is stroke the ego over here. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Whenever I hear this, I think it's like I have to put on more shares. So very dangerous. Oh, no. Very, very dangerous talking there, Fabian, but thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. All right. So AMD again, we just got hit. So we got hit of another piece there. So now we have we said about a third. We have about 25% left now on this trade. And if it falls back in, it falls back in. It's a winning trade. It's always nice. Where's my guy Ozan right there? Let's blow some cows over right there. Bang. Good opportunity to end the day here with this trade. And a shout out to my good friend there in the chat. I think we're friends today because you had some great calls. I forget where you are. Oh, there it is. Mark. Here it is right here on Apple. Mark Stoge 17, man. Yeah, you were dead right about Apple. It continues to make sort of those highs back up there to the upside. And great call on that one saying no shorting Apple. Well, guess what, man? This is the thing. When we're sitting there on AMD and taking like multiple winners left, right, and center. And then we wind up losing on Apple 5 cents, and we're sitting in an AMD trade that is a 40-cent winner. It's all good. But we do wind up making money, actually, on Apple. So this Apple short was actually fine. We talked about how many shares we had left and able to get out. So we do get out of Apple. Scram, get out of there, AAPL. And now we'll wait to see where this trade takes us to the upside. Great call there by Mark on Apple, saying that that was going to start. Yeah, there you go. I gave you the credit there, Mark. Don't worry. You did say that was a great call for Apple. I don't know what gave you that reasoning. Maybe you can put that in the chat and I can learn from you. Remember, this is a completely free ride. So let us know how we're doing. Put it in the chat. Everything like that. Make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe as we get closer and closer here into the close. Not going to have too many more opportunities to do that, but stay on this stream after, because Joe and I will be talking about options. We'll be talking about everything. We'll talk about our plans for the weekend. We'll talk about our favorite foods. We'll talk about all of that.
Well, it's Joe's birthday on Saturday, isn't it?
I have no idea, but if it's Joe's birthday on Saturday, we will talk to Joe about said birthday. We should have a lot of good fun here on the after show, so get ready for that. We're having fun now, waiting to see what AMD does. Still the same out. That's Apple right now, but still the same out on AMD if and when we break below this 170. Although the 50 period is creeping up, we could just take this as gospel and just get out. And then really have a professional trade on our hands. But we'll hold on to this, see what happens right now for AMD. All right, it's Adara at the screen.
As always, going to go into the last half hour of the day and today the week by looking at some of these larger S&P 500 movers to the upside and the downside with catalysts. I believe all of these three today, though, are actually near high of days. We have Vistra, VST. This is in the utility space. We know utilities and energy have been pretty strong this week, but Vistra very much outperforming its peers in this sector today, getting an outperform rating here, reaffirmed by BMO Capital with a price target increase from 125 to 146. Next up here, we have not one, but two names here on the CNBC halftime report final trades. We know some of these final trade related names can move the market. First up here, CrowdStrike, CRWD, recovering very nicely from a lot of that weakness we had back in July with that outage today. Near high of days, up more than 3%, getting the nod there from final trades. Also getting the nod is Deckers, DECK, up more than 5% here, also being mentioned on final trades. What a list today, guys. It's been a really exciting week.
And AMD just broke the high of the day. Duo just broke the low of the day. You can go either direction.
Oh, yeah.
Here. However, the like button should only go in one direction. It should always go up. And we've answering questions for you guys, and I love that we get so many questions. I think we learn from them as well.
Yep.
But if you want to be in the chat, get your questions answered, be a part of a great community, get shout outs, get the roll call at the end of the day.
Perhaps.
Then you got to make sure you hit that subscribe button. So hit that like, hit that subscribe. Don't make Fabian unhappy. And on top of that, it was Tatea's birthday. It'll be Joe. I'm 99% sure it's Joe's birthday on Saturday. He said that this week. So, hey, it's a birthday celebration kind of day as well. So hit that like, hit that subscribe, spread the love. Duo just broke the low of the day. I got out in front of the low because they flashed the bid, and now it's going to break even lower. So this Fang, whatever company thingy this is, Fang DD, if it does go any lower, here in the daily chart, you have a prior high at 237 and a support at 237. I feel like that could be a spot where it catches a little bit of a bid on Duo. But another fresh low. The story was they dropped a $5 million offering sometime right after 2 o'clock. I'm guessing right here, obviously at 212. If they dropped it before then the reaction was a little bit slow. And what's interesting
exactly
about this,
happening?
what you can do here is looking at that flat bottom, you can do worse things as a trader than play off this. Like when you see a level like that on a stock that's pulling back, not that you know there's going to be an offering, but you can just be like, it breaks, I want to go short. Because that one's falling like an absolute rock. What goes up sometimes must inevitably come down.
Nah, you know what? Sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words. You know, I mean, it's just, there goes AMD. I mean, now we're 75 cents in the money on this one. We've really changed and adapted our style to becoming much more money making and much more patience required for these kind of styles of trade. We talk about this, right? It's the runners that put the money in the pocket 100%. Look at this move right here on AMD, right? Normally I'd be scalping this thing out over and over and over again, but there we still do that. But look how many outs we have near at. See, the more we talk, the more invaluable the lesson is to hold this thing. I mean, look at this thing go, continue to go to the upside. We're gonna have, I mean, there it is right there. We've invented something else on this show. Nothing wrong with coming well dressed, and we did that on AMD, baby. It's $1. That's $1 winner right there on AMD, and we just put it on 45 minutes ago. So good trading there. It's not only that, it's really nice when it actually works out. You know, and you're able to have those shares on, put those shares on board, and then have this kind of a result. So there it goes, man. Thank you so much, AMD, for that move higher. We will take a piece out if it continues to hover around this level. So AMD banger right there of a trade. Good trade on Duo over on the other side. But there it goes. What's up, Rolling Records? What's up, Junior Son? Everything like that. Well, let's go, Brandon, there in the chat as well. So yeah. We just do this all the time. Make sure you join us every day. We talk about this. We have a great time here. We put on these bangers for you, and hopefully they're successful. Look, we have a lot of bad trades as well. We talked about some of those trades that we had earlier on today that were not overly successful. We'll look to do better on those. But for right now, I think we're doing pretty good holding on to this AMD trade. So far, so good here. Let's just continue to let it roll high right now, like Roll Tide there if you're in Alabama. I have no idea who they play this weekend, but we're like the Alabama of trading right now. Look at this move, just keeps on going to the high side. Let's just stay there. I was at 171.08. It just stopped at 07. So maybe we get one more push over there on this name. But here we go. AMD upside 171.08 is what we're waiting for. I have no idea why. I just don't want to change it. So there it goes, man. Dollar in this trade. I mean, good hold, I think. Market could be turning around. We don't need to wait for anything, by the way. So why don't we just do that right now? Get out of this trade at 171 or 171 flat. Cancel our 08s. That's what we're doing right there. It's a face slapper right there for you.
Yeah, so I wanted to get to this question, but while that was happening, SMCI came right back into VWAP. We shorted it at 32 again. It just popped down into 41.20. So we're just going off VWAP here. The way I see it is whether or not Sean was long AMD or not, like I would have some other chart up of one of the chip names, and you see it go higher and higher. And if you can't break the top, to me, this one's just going to stay a short. Now, this CHSN, which, by the way, I'm never endorsing anybody to trade a stock like this. The tap value on this halt is $14.50. It is halted at $11.22. I was asked what the tap is. It's like all the way up here. So it stayed open for more than just one candle for the first time since midday. That might have given you an opportunity to trade. It's probably the only time if I was looking at it that I would ever consider trading stock like this, because you probably could have structured something with a reasonable risk to reward if you got into it. I would not be holding on to this as much as it could gap up to $20 overnight. This could be back at $2 or $3 on Monday. So congratulations if you happen to be long CHSN. I don't remember the name of the company, but yeah, it's going to tap 20% higher. Actually, check that. It's going to tap 30% higher from where it is, but this has already dropped by 50% this afternoon. So put that into context with that stock. So we're going to hang on to SMCI. I don't know if I want to reload this one more time going into the imbalances. If it pops back up here, I think it's just an out as far as I'm concerned. There was nothing on the early look. TRP's in here and PBA. Nike's an early look short. Not surprising because that stock has not been able to get out of its way. So nothing really intriguing on this. In the imbalances on the Friday, sometimes you get something, but there's nothing that's actually going to stand out. Maybe Nike could be something. Remember we were talking about this? Nike can't break that 82 low. This is exactly what it did yesterday. Pop, lower high, hold the low. The longer it does this, I like Nike, but unfortunately, It's feeling like a flat bottom break if it breaks $82 with a test of the 50 period at $80. So I'm thinking flat bottom break at 82, but that's got to be a next week thing. It's 340. You don't have enough time for it to take out that low. But a lot of weakness in Nike going into the weekend.
All right, let's do this. It's time to go over, based on what we've been doing here today, this gave me some feels about this. So let's go over top 10 traders yesterday here at Real Trading. All right, this is not us. This is Hong Kong right now. Someone yesterday, the top 2 traders in the company yesterday were trading on Hong Kong market. So that's a great move right there. This is the benefit of trading here at Real Trading. Let's be honest. We talk about China stimulus, all that. There's Hong Kong. Don't let me see these numbers, man. My wife will not be happy with 24-hour trading for your boy here. All right, Canada, TSX, CBOE, CSE. There you go. Canada. We only have 10 minutes till the imbalances. We're just stink-facing this AMD trade right as we speak right now. New York and NASDAQ, oh no, someone yesterday made $8,100 that only traded those 2 exchanges. Right now, Amex and NASDAQ yesterday, 7,200. NASDAQ there, oh boy. I don't know, man. Maybe Sharif's trading some Blue Ocean here. There's a nice little move there on Blue Ocean. Somebody $5,500 overnight. Probably a China name. Again, you can trade on Blue Ocean. You guys can go research that. Overnight market, Blue Ocean. And then Canada again, and there's Hong Kong. Those are the top traders here at Real Trading for yesterday.
You know what's going to be fire for Blue Ocean? It's going to be election night.
Yep.
That's so, like...
You know what's, yep.
The first time Trump ran,
yep.
There was we had 3 or 4 traders, actually might have been 5 or 6 traders that were just we're going to trade futures overnight in the election. And now with Blue Ocean, you're going to have the ability to trade with Blue Ocean you have individual stocks, which we can do here at Real Trading. I'm willing to wager that there's going to be some people taking some shots. DJT's probably going to go absolutely nonsensical in the aftermarket. It's just an aftermarket market, which I think it's been highly profitable. I know one trader, at least personally, that does pretty well on it. So I can't wait for November 5th, but that's still some times away. But that's going to be spicy. That thing hasn't opened up that CHASN. It's still at $15 is now the tap. So 33% higher, it looks like. Could have reloaded SMCI, not going to because the imbalances are looming. I think we're just looking a little bit lower. Siri, like Trader TV, stair step up on Tiger. This was the one Sharif was trading, I believe. I want to say he was. Company started on March 19th. Not a lot of resistance from this point back to the highs. Ton of call premium came in today. Thoughts on a swing? You're not necessarily here to give investing advice. That's not what we do. I always say the same thing with stocks like this. It was $4 on September 24th.
Let's go S&P.
It just hit $12 now. So my answer is I would never want to be long something like this over a weekend because it could easily be $8. It could be $6. If you're able to play options, a lot of times you can limit your risk. But I don't see anything appealing buying highs on a Friday and hoping that this thing can hold out the tops. It just tripled up. Usually you need a minute, like a beat or two on a stock like this. So it's got a couple of parabolic days in it. I feel like this is the kind of day after it does something like this and then you hold a low, that's where you want to get involved when it reloads and everyone's given up on it, not when it's made the parabolic high. These are the kind of days where it looks a little more interesting when it holds that low and then you can break it out at the open. I like that kind of a trade because your risk is tight and your upside is huge. Right now, your upside could easily be, I don't know, maybe it goes $30, but your downside is gigantic on this. Absolutely gigantic. I think you want those types of trades if you can catch them on Tiger. Better to be early or potentially miss the move than to buy an absolute top and be a bag holder.
All right, 343 right now. We're just still watching out for, again, AMD. I think it'll come as a bid imbalance. I don't know that to be true. I just said I think it should come as a bid imbalance. So we'll wait to see if that is true or not for our friend AMD right now. I'm sure hoping. Here's hoping. as they say. We'll see if we can get that coming through as well. So for advanced micro devices right now, we're in the teens now with percentage left of our position. Again, dollar in the money, we'll take that into the close. We always talk about wanting to stay away from stock as we get into the imbalances again. So here they come through. These are just all New York right now at 350. And again, if anybody has another source, Neil and I just kind of fly blind with whatever we have right now.
The NASDAQ one.
But if you guys have the NASDAQ source, that would be great so we could see like what's sort of expected here. But right now, just TRP, these are not big names. So we will not worry too much about this imbalance and just wait to see what comes next. So that's what we're waiting for. At 350, we'll get a little bit of an update. And look at AMD right now. Let's go, man. The Diamond Hand Man is here, hopefully anyways. Although we just have a small piece left. It's up to you to how much you guys want to have on. We were pretty confident with this trade. We talked about it, why we liked it, so on and so forth. And there it goes, upside. Sometimes I talk myself into trades and out of trades pretty easily, but at the end of the day, this one really worked out for us. Most of our outs here were kind of in the 70s and 80s as we ripped higher. Then we were lucky enough to get something at 90, and then again here for that dollar right into this area, as you saw me get filled at 170, 108, or whatever it was. Now we'll wait to see if there isn't more of an upside move with just a couple minutes left. You are 100% right, Mark. There as Apple continues to go higher, and Apple right now taking out its day's high into the close. So that was a great play there for AAPL. Man, oh man, what a day it's been for the TQs. This was by far, right now, AMD, we lost on it early. That doesn't matter. But just from a clean trade, right now, the one stock that we basically really nailed today was the long in the futures. So we are actually long down here at $70 on the TQQ. So if you're going to look at what that was for the NASDAQ, we're long right here at 20,040. So right now, this is about 170 handles or so in the money from that low. We're not in it still. But just to show you, like, wow, what an aggressive day it was for the NQs. Again, 170 handles from top to bottom. We're actually going a little bit more right here. It actually made 200 handle move down early as we wait to see some of those results coming through here from the jobless number. ADP today came through almost double expected there. So big move there for ADP into the close or into the open there today. So we'll have to wait to see now what's going on. But the market trying to get higher into the close. Nice little pullback as I can see happening right in front of us.
Well, Microsoft might be the reason why the market's not
really?
going to go higher here. Yeah, like the market was just cruising. Microsoft hadn't been doing good all day long, although we were talking about this. I think Microsoft is a barcode for the next little bit for what I think are obvious reasons. Like, I think it can break away. When it bounces away from the zone, I think it's fantastic. But right now, you get the 50 and 200 converging. It's been a key price before. So it's just taking its time to break away from here. That's why you get a nothing burger of a day. But it's heading lower. It just broke some support. That might have helped the market go down. I didn't look at a million things. I just saw Microsoft going back down here. So I'm not going to trade it. I think it's probably a little bit late, and it's almost 2 minutes until the imbalance is. Hey, why didn't that stock open up? Oh, I guess they're not going to open that CHSN. There's no point in that up anymore. Oh, it's the worst when they do that kind of a halt, and then if you're in it, you can't get out until 4 o'clock when there's less liquidity. Yeah, that doesn't seem very fair. So SMCI, I'm now bidding in front of this low. There's buyers at 41, obviously, the same way. The same way there's sellers in front of the 41.30 to 35 zone, there's buyers at 41 even, so you have a very distinct range. I'm getting out at the bottom of the range, and then we'll probably call it a day. 90 seconds or so till imbalance. There's nothing on the early look. If something pops up, maybe it can be a trade. But something's going to have to show up with big size. On a Friday, I'd like to see bigger imbalances than normal. Like Nvdia coming out at 1.5 million is not going to cut it. Nvidia's got to be 5, 6, 7 million, and then maybe we try to get in. That's the level 2 I'm going to have up outside of SMCI, which we're in. Tesla not really doing a heck of a lot. I think that's worth having on the side burner as well, just for the simple fact that it's at 250. So if it happens to have an imbalance, you might get a little bit of a run from that price. Seems like the gravity at 250 has been overwhelming, which makes sense. We've talked about this before. If it doesn't break away from a level like 250 on a Friday, you're just going to get drawn right back to it every single time. It never could really pull too far away from that price once it caught that bid. Like it had to break down at 45, otherwise it's just going to get right back to that 50 level.
I'm waiting at 171.20s here, or 25s. See if we can get a fill. 171.24. The high of the day is 171.31. Here, that's what it says on our system. I don't know if that's true or not. But for AMD, so we're going to sit here and wait. Maybe these imbalances come out. They're on the screen right now. We have our eyes watching them. And if that can come out as a bid, we should be able to get that fill. If it comes out as an offer, like I said, I'm not just going to like punch out dramatically there. We don't have that many shares left on this trade to really make that much of a difference, but we are being cautious with it and seeing what's happening right now with this imbalance, which is going to happen in 15 seconds. Thank you again, man. The end of the first week here of October. It sounds like it'll be, well, I guess it'll be a positive week. We'll have to double check those stats as well. But October, generally one of the more positive months and a very volatile one. Here we go. And we are now out. So it looks like it is going to be a downside move.
Nvidia is a buy, but only 2.2 million. Amazon's a sell, 1.7 million. Those are the only two things over $1 million. WBA's under $1 million. Microsoft's a small sell at 500,000. AMD's a 500,000 sell. I mean, those are not. It's probably maybe enough to halt a move in one direction or the other, but none of these are overwhelmingly big. I'd say Amazon at 1.7. That's unusual for it, but that Nvidia 2.2. I don't think you want to punch the highs for only a 2.2 million imbalance on Nvidia. Nvidia's done 211 million shares worth of volume.
211 million.
And it's a 2.2 million imbalance. Amazon might be smaller notional, but Amazon's only done 28 million shares worth of volume. That's a little bit more noticeable on Amazon. Though, yeah, like look at the wick down. Like Amazon went 186 to 185.5. Might take a shot at this off the high of the day. If I can get filled, don't chase. Because I think you can give it back into like 186.10, and then VWAP can become your out. Let's go to, we're going to go to Adara quickly before we round it up.
There's a story here on Rivian to watch out for. RIVN getting a little bit of volume and pushing into what looks like high of day here, this continuous resistance level. We do have the Atlanta Journal-Constitution reporting that Rivian is looking for a federal loan in order to restart the building of its $500 billion Georgia plant. This plant was actually had its construction paused indefinitely since March. Basically, the AJC, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, citing a potential draft environmental assessment being found for this factory site. So there's not any details with regards to this application from the Department of Energy, but being reported that Rivian is looking for this loan here, as again reported by the AJC, as we get near high of days, guys.
Needs a loan? I'm shocked.
Yeah, me too.
They don't have endless supplies of money.
They do not.
They need the lucid bags, is what they need.
Well, they have the lucid bag. It's called the federal government. They're trying to get that right now. So congratulations, taxpayers. We'll see what winds up happening there.
They're already trying to keep Intel afloat. Just
Yep, yeah, that's working out. That's working out really well.
Actually, I'm not kidding. That's actually, no, seriously.
I know, I'd be pissed off if I know, yeah.
Sadly true.
Thankfully, our government just supports even crazier stuff. We don't have to get down to that right now. All right, so just in case you were wondering, we did get out of pretty much all of our AMD. We're holding a very, very small piece in case we do get back up. It did go through that 171, so we'll take 171. We got 171 flat there. We're long at 170.12. We just have like less than 5% left now of that stock. So we'll wait to see here. Maybe we're able to get something, maybe not, but right now, that's what we're dealing with. Hopefully a nice little take on AMD back into the end of the day there. Tesla, let's have a quick look at that, 250. So it just closes basically where it was landing in. They're 250 right now for a Tesla coming into play. That was a spot that we had talked about over and over again as an area of interest for us, and just bounces again off 250 into the close. So those are those imbalances, and there it is, right? 250 right back in there for Tesla. So where it starts the day kind of with that move up to 250, then the fade back to 245, then the break, then this, then the long. So it was okay at the end of the day, but should have, could have, would have done way better there on Tesla. All right, now this market's coming down. I'm just going to get out. There we go. We are now out of AMD. Let's just spin it. That was a great trade there to end the day. So good money-making opportunity there at the end on imbalances with Nvdia, maybe possibly, going up to the high of the day again into 125. So congratulations, anybody hit that. And then Amazon, weak into the close. So we'll have to see on Monday if there's anything. Yeah, nothing's really happening.
It went like 10 cents. It was the best you could get. The thing about that trade is if you're really fast, like if you're an algorithm, you get 86 to 50. If you take it on the way back up, the best fill you got was like mid-90s to 80s. So like the algo trade is good. What you could do in theory, and like I would never, I mean, I don't know. We used to do this like way back in the day, is if you anticipated there might be an action at the close on something, if you like the stock long, you would just kind of sit out there just in case like there was some kind of a flash, and you might just sit on the bid and then take that retracement trade for what's and giggles. It pops down when the imbalances come out, but you like it for a strong stock. So if it's a buy and balance, you get picked up great. If it's a sell and balance, you're looking for a bounce back to the mean. But yeah, I got out of it before 355 because it wasn't going to the downside. So I had kind of a nothing burger. Amazon was only 1.7 million anyways. I did get hit on SMCI at the bid, so that got back down to 41. The thing about SMCI is, oh yeah, we're not split adjusted, but I mean, this chart tells you the story, and then I can go to a 15-minute that'll show you what's been happening since the split. So there was a good bounce 2 days ago, then like lower, like pop and fade, pop and fade. SMCI is really not doing anything with this downtrend except continuing it at this point. Like when everything in the world, not everything, when almost every single chip name was strong, you saw like AMD, they're all breaking out. SMCI is down 1%. Still proven otherwise, this thing is a short to me.
Yeah, I think it's a short. I mean, SMCI there after that split really hasn't done anything.
Did Amazon flip?
Again, well, we had that 355. Let's look at what Palantir is doing right now. Wow, Palantir, let's go. Palantir, nice move to the upside right here, as we can clearly see, as that continues to sort of make those moves. Good on us for trading Palantir and for being able to hold it. No trades today, but look at Palantir up to day's high one more time into the close. So TLT, we had Raider Trader talking about this yesterday as well. That has a nice little move today. Oops, down 1%. Sorry, I thought it was up 1%. So another thing for TLT downside there again, as Raider was talking about. He liked that one, so look for that. Maybe on some weakness for TLT. SoFi, I was really surprised when someone was like, yo, check out SoFi today. Wow. Okay. Right now, no, it still has not broken 850. Probably does that on Monday. So pay attention for that, all of you SoFi traders. I think that'll be on my radar for sure. I'll mark that down and put this on the sticky note for Monday. I think SoFi right at this level. We love breakout trades, and it might be here right now. 850 to 9 looking like a good little level there for SoFi.
If it fails that break, I'm losing on it because I'm waiting for this break for a few weeks.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I think we'll wait for that one. So 850 coming through on SoFi. We like it, and we'll like the 250 break as well on Tesla. That will happen on Monday as well. If not, we'll probably be way over that on Monday. 250 for Tesla. I think that 260 is a great spot to get something out. Probably the next time it's up there, I will get out of Tesla, some of it anyways. The next time we're up there, we're long about $100 in the money on that one. So we'll wait to see what's happening with Tesla. There it goes. Nice strong close here for many names. So
yeah, the market's looking super strong going into this. There's only like 2 minutes to go. Only because someone mentioned it to me. Duo halted to the upside. Should have held on to it, didn't. But it will not open back up till 4 o'clock. Those are the rules. Doesn't matter how long the halt is or when it does. If it's in the last 10 minutes, this one halted at 2:53. So a 5-minute would open at 58, but the rule is it will open at 4 o'clock. So if you're in the short on this, then you have to wait till 4 o'clock. You can use regular orders to be able to get in or out. Apple, so I know I said if it got into this range, I would short it, but it's 358. Apple is now in that supply zone that we got to on Wednesday and could not break out of. But it's way too late in the day to be trying to fade it with 2 minutes to go. So there's no opportunity. Apple super strong going into the close, but this is exactly where it sat and could not go higher a couple of days ago. And you saw it reject it this morning. You saw it reject this level again yesterday. I'd love it. If it just gaps above, it's going to be an obvious, like a 228 break on Apple at some point, maybe on Monday, who knows. But if it's underneath that 222.75 to 227, to me, it's a short there. Over here, it's going to be a long on Monday with a ton of room. Someone said 230. I think it's got room to like 32, 33 on Apple.
Yeah, I think we get to 52-week highs on Apple probably by the end of next week, which is 237 and change. So I think that's going to be a good one. I'm really bullish about the market and what we see right here. So for me, again, Tesla near the highs, right? Amazon trying to battle back. Google's trying to make that move again as well. Microsoft's at the 200 period. I think that gets bought down there as well. But yeah, it's lots of stuff to talk about here. Join me and Joe in just a couple minutes. There he goes. He's getting ready to go. I'll join Joe. All right, Neil, good day trading.
Oh, you good?
Yeah, we'll see everybody later on.
I knew you were still you were waiting to get out. I thought you were going to take it into the close.
No, 170, 75. We are now out of everything. We're just waiting to see what Tesla was doing, not doing a whole heck of a lot. All right, Joe, get a mic, man. We're about to rock that after show. So, all right, thanks, everybody. I got to get over there so we can get prepared. 4 o'clock, Joe and I, get ready for some Q&A, baby.
Yeah, we'll let you mosey on over to the desk with Joe. I think it's going to be, look, it always is, but I think it's always special when you have some new blood. I know a lot of people have always asked, like, what's your opinion about this or that options play? Look, Joe knows options. We're equity traders. At the end of the day, you always stick to what you know best. And I think that's what's amazing about our community is we have a wealth of knowledge all over the place, wealth of knowledge over the floor. But for the final time, at least this week, the bell brought to you by Firefly Neurosciences, revolutionizing brain health. Fantastic. We love them. But Adara in 2 and 1, ring it. The new mallet is a little bit aggressive. I cannot tell a lie. It feels like it's way louder. I'm also like the closest to that thing, which is pretty intense. It's like bang bang. Yeah, it's got some heft to it. Oh, it's like sand inside of this thing. You guys hear that? Yeah, you can hear it shake a little bit. Yeah, it's got some heft to it. I feel like I could use it as like a nutcracker if I had. I'm always down to eat, but like if we had something, I could do that. But I don't know if it's that light. I think it should, but also I think it should be green. What do we say? Like, why would we want red? It should be green because we like it when the markets go up, not when they go to the downside. But thank you very much, everybody. It's been a fantastic week, but it's not over just yet. I do want to give a special shout out, like we always do, to Fabian and Ramin on the old 1s and the 2s. I look over. This is the first time I've actually looked over all week to see Andre without his headphones. He's still working, but he doesn't have the headphones on, so he can actually hear me say thank you for everything you do. He actually turn around and acknowledge. That's amazing. Oh, Midday, big shout out to Satya. Great job as always. Shout out to Sharif. For everything he does. Adara at the news desk, keeping you guys abreast of what's going on here. Shout out to all of our fantastic community. Want to thank Michael Moss for coming on this morning, and want to give a special thank you to Joe, not just because he's popping in 3 times a week now, right? You're getting him 3 times on the midday, but now you're getting him on the aftermarket show as well. I did want to, because it only just opened now, that's CHSN. I'll go over this because I mentioned it was going to open up aftermarket, and it kind of did some absolute nonsense. So this stock has gone from silly to over-the-top silly in the aftermarket. It went as high as $19 on the reopen. The open at 15, went as high as 19, as low as 12, and is back at 15. It is as thin as it gets on CHSN. So obviously, anybody that had that long going into the close, you've done well. Just be careful. There's not a lot of liquidity in this one. So congratulations to anyone that was in that long. But it's time. We've got the aftermarket show. It's the market recap over at the desk. We have, I just heard music instead of news in my ear. That was a new one. Kind of threw me off a bit here. Let's get on to the desk. We've got the market recap. We've got Sean joined by Joe. How about now?
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the recap show. We're here, baby. It's me and Joe. We've got this ready to go. The handsome man, the dapper Don.
That's you.
The dapper Don is in the building. We're really happy. Thank you for joining us here tonight. We're going to have a great market recap show. Oh, brought to you by Firefly. I like that little thing at the bottom there. Thank you, Firefly. Big stuff happening over there. And big things happening in the market today.
Massive.
I mean, we got that NFP number comes out at, I was just reading it again, 254 compared to an estimate of 150. Really got the market jumping today. We look at the Qs, we look at the SPYs here as well. The SPY today winds up 1% into the close. So that was a great move. Up into the highs of the day, Joe. We had this huge move in the SPY on that NFP number. Nice move to the upside right there, rocking up over 1% and then just dripping back down pretty much all morning where your boy started going long, Joe. Hey. But you know what? We went long because we believe in this market. We believe in the jobs. But the thing is, the market did not believe it until about noon, Joe. Then we started to get going back up to the upside before closing again at the highs. highs. So, hey, we're really thrilled with being able to take the longs, but we were too long too early today. SPY and the NASDAQ, whoopsies, not EQQ, QQQ, both. Wow, NASDAQ up 1.2% against the S&P only up 1%. What about the IWM, you might say, Joe? Is that what you said?
That's exactly
what I thought you said that as well.
Yeah.
Up 1.41% right now goes the IWM. Let me flip this over to the daily chart. We still have a breakout coming on the IWM. Of course, this is the Russell 2000 looking for lower cap names to make that move upside. Hey, Joe. It's almost NHL season, baby.
Hey, it's time.
We were at the All-Star game last year. We got our All-Star hat on. We'll be wearing some Leaf gear coming up. Favorite NHL team?
Come on, I'm a Toronto boy. We got the Leafs. Leafs.
Dumb question by me over there. All right. People want to talk about CHSN. We will do that. Hey, Bears versus Bulls. We're going to talk about a couple questions. If there are anything you want to ask myself or Joe, put it in the chat. We'll do that in about 5 minutes. We're just going to do a quick little rundown of what was moving around today for sure. Let's have a quick look at IBIT. What did Bitcoin wind up doing today? Bitcoin over $62,000 as we speak, but today IBIT going up. I mean, nice move, right?
Yep.
Holding out the 50-period moving average, holding out the 200 period. Here, Fabian on the chart. Nice move there, 35.50, trying to hold out. I like Bitcoin here. I think we can get higher. What's your opinion on Bitcoin?
I think Bitcoin, I'm a Bitcoin bull, so I'm looking for this thing to go higher as well, too. So it's only a matter of time until we break out here. So we'll see what's going on up in the near future. And IBIT, soon to be optionable as well. So we really like that, Sean.
Yeah, I thought IBIT was already optionable, but not yet.
Not yet. It's coming. It's coming.
Baby, you can come on too, bro.
Hey, I mean, get Fabian on here.
Mic this man up.
He asked me what's for lunch.
Mic this man up.
Let's go long.
Okay,
let's
go long BTC. I like that one. Right. How come all these young kids, everybody likes Bitcoin?
Hey, I don't know.
Fabian, you got to not walk right in front of the camera next time. You know
follow
what I
the
mean?
trend. We got to follow the trend with what everybody else is doing. So
Fabian, try to be professional over here. Yeah, don't. Brendan, man, these two are unhinged over here. This is what happens.
This is what happens.
Like I do the show, we're getting carried away, but it's a great one. This is what people like. They're loving it here on the chat. Okay, today, just real quick, man, what led the day today was not Nvdia. No, it's partner in crime. It was AMD. And oh boy, Joe, I don't know if you saw at the end of the day, we had a banger of a trade on AMD. We waited for it to break through the high of the day. And when it did, we smashed it. Nice move, over $1 in the money at the end of the day on this 170 long. Hit that through there. We actually took this break right there. I don't know why it's not showing at the side, but that break right there of about 170.25. I got to get the pointer going on here so we can get a little bit more accurate on that one as well. But nice move upside there at the end of the day on AMD. Hey, we sold some Wynn Casino because China. You know, Macau, China's been going absolutely insane there. And you know what we wound up buying? AMD.
Bam, up 5% on the day. Absolutely beautiful.
Berkshire.
Oh, Berkshire. I was wrong on that one. Hey, I was anticipating a little bit too
I was letting you go there on AMD.
That's all right.
But we put some money to work on Berkshire over the last couple of days. We talked about that. It's the first time I've ever bought this stock. I like Berkshire. Why do I like it? What's coming next Friday? Earnings. In what sector? Did you say banks? Financials? There we go. This guy's on top of it.
Speaking of banks, XLF up over 1.5% today. So there you go.
XLF. You like the banking sector right now, Joe?
You got to keep an eye on those. So XLF up over 1.5%.
Look at this. Great call by my guy over here, Joe, banging that one out. Look at XLF right here at all-time highs, trying to break through this level. I actually made a call this morning on Morgan Stanley. Wow. Okay, looks like a good one. Let's see what it did on the day, though. Did we end near the highs? Yes, we did. Morgan Stanley, the reason why we like this one, upgraded. Look when they report, guys. They report late, October 16th. So the banks start next Friday. Today's date, checks notes. What is today's date anyways? The 4th. So the 11th. So Morgan Stanley comes the next week. So I just think that if you get a good run up on some of these banking names, you already have Morgan Stanley breaking out of the top right here. I mean, look at this stock. Already near the top. What if JP Morgan beats? They're not near the top, Joe. That gets up here. What do you think Morgan Stanley's going to do? It's going to follow it. So let's wait to see JP Morgan reporting next Friday. Also reporting next week, the day before Morgan, Bank of America still has higher to go. WFC, I think, is the same day. Yes, WFC, but it's Morgan Stanley that's looking the best out of all of them. Yes, I think, Joe, you want to trade strength. You want to trade the leaders. It is Morgan Stanley right now in the banking sector. Well, what was down today? Hey, UNG. But you know what? What a run it's been.
No gas.
For natural gas, Joe. We talked about this name all the way down here. And unfortunately, I got to figure out where my little marker is down here. But I thought we got down to 12 or 13, all the way up to 15, and now making that move back in. All right, do you want to go over, put it to Joe for just a couple of seconds. I'm going to see if I can fix this chart.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, we were looking over at AMD. We were talking about AMD not too long ago, up over 5% on the day. Absolute monster trade on behalf of Sean. So he got some of that. We like that. And as well as XLF, as I said before, we're up over almost 0.75% on XLF. So that's looking really good there. We like to see what XLE is up to as well. It's also really strong. So that could have dragged the NASDAQ up as well, too. What's going on here?
Chart not working. Chart not working. Okay, everything's fine. All right, let's just come back to here. I'll just get after everything's working. I can't get the crosshairs to go. That's okay. All right,
all right.
Get your questions ready to go. It's almost 4:10 right now, and I thank everybody that's staying late with us. Hey, it's Friday.
It
was a big week. Let's just see what the Qs were up on the week right now. We're happy about that. Did I hear that it's your birthday?
The 5th, tomorrow.
Hello.
Hey.
Any plans there? It's always nice when your birthday's on a Saturday.
Yeah, we got some dinner plans, and that's about it. Obviously, the girlfriend's got me running around the city, so we'll be around, absolutely.
I'm down with that.
That's it.
Good. We did just about get positive. Where are they? What type of food?
Tonight is Italian.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we are going to Chubby's, so some Jamaican cuisine. Some good stuff. Yes.
Okay, we'll get that jerk chicken going through right there for sure.
That's it.
My kids love beef patties, but they got it sort of the homemade ones. Those are the legit ones.
Spoiled.
You know what I'm saying? You got to get that going
now.
through. We definitely like that. No. We get them from, it's actually Mac's Grill House. It's a barbecue joint. The guy's from Jamaica. It's right near our house. We go there all the time. You know, for $8, so the guy has this huge barbecue just outside of his place. He's outside. He's playing the big barrel. He's playing the music. $8, quarter chicken, rice and peas coleslaw.
So there you go. Max's.
Max, yeah, M-A-C-K, Mac, right there. So we're coming into that one as well. But look at the Qs. We basically get back to zeros for the week. So that's nice. Good start to the month, though. Obviously, the first day there, nice little red candle to start the month, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4 days. We get back up there to the upside. So we're right back in for the NASDAQ, looking to go green on the week starting next week. And same thing with the SPY. Was a downside move brought to you all the way back. There's this theory that there's a lot of money on the sidelines, right? And I think that that's probably true. Every single time there's a dip, buy opportunity, it seems the market wants to do that, right? So we're going to wait. I feel like it's going to be a very, very important, I'm going to get this out of my ear. There's going to be a very important week happening this earnings season, right? So we're going to wait for that World Series or the Super Bowl of earnings starting here. Late October, we get Meta. Late October, we get Apple. They're all going to come through. Can they support this recent move up? I mean, look at Meta here. What? I mean, I don't know. I like that Oculus. I like that Meta
Absolutely
Connect.
amazing.
But honestly, Meta knocking on 600's door right now. Bob Dylan.
And to think it was only $100 not too long ago, Sean.
Yeah, nice move right there. Only $100. That was a little while ago.
It was a little while, a couple years ago.
A couple years ago. I think we're probably over right now the huge drops in a lot of these stocks. I don't want to say that we can't retrace back. I mean, Apple generally has about 2 or 3 20% pullbacks per year on that stock. We've already had a couple here. I mean, even Meta, right? This little drop down that we had in July, that went from, I can't see these prices. We might have to switch over charts here until I get that all figured out because I don't have the watermark here to give me what that price was. But this drop here, 20% drop in for sure, as now we get back up to 596 again. All right, that's going to bug me. Happy birthday to Joe. Yeah, right there. Glenn Smith there. There's 8 to 10 trillion on the sidelines waiting to come in.
Fixed income, right? The yields aren't as large anymore, so we're going to look to put some risk on. It's looking like soon.
Do you know what the what the total crypto market is?
Something trillion. No, I don't know. It's in the trillions, but I know it's about to outpace gold, I think, eventually.
Not yet. Not yet. But gold is about Bitcoin and the whole crypto market combined about 2.5 trillion. So if you think about all the money that's on the sidelines, like you said, fixed income and everything like that, there is a lot of room to run if some of that money goes into Bitcoin.
Exactly.
But it might inflow back into the market, and there's definitely inflowing into some hot stocks. And we talked about Berkshire, why we like that, because insurance companies and some of those big names like Coca-Cola, trimming some of their Apple position as well, and trimming Bank of America. Will be interesting to see. We know that they've recently bought some Ulta Beauty and whatnot. So there, hey, what's up? Hey, Davis. Okay, if we are ready, we can go into some trader talk, so let's do it.
Let's go.
My guy Joe, man, what are you talking about? Okay, Ramin goes, who is it? I'm like, we've already discussed what we're doing here. We're doing talks right now with all of us. Okay, so here we go. The first one, thank you, from Bears vs. Bulls. Actually, you know what? I can put it in here. Right here, let me put it into the chat. Anybody has questions, get them in the chat right now. Bears vs. Bulls will copy them, and then I will simply do this. Repaste them right now in the chat so everybody can see. Join us right now in the chat for the Hey, still 2,300. Thank you so much for staying late with us, by the way. All right, Chris Falsey says, hey, Sean, appreciate everything you're doing for us. Best show ever.
Dang.
Probably because you're on it, Joe. What do you think about Palantir $50 into the end of the new year? I mean, what do I think about higher price targets on Palantir?
Hey.
I mean, hey, right now. Okay, so into the end of the year. So we got to think about that. So right now, into the end of the year, we're going to have roughly, so we have election coming up in under 30 days. So that's going to definitely affect some of these plays, especially government plays, military plays. Palantir is one of those. So right now we're in October. So October, November, December. So about 60 or so trading days left in the year. Can Palantir go up in 60 days? Can we get to $50? Well, here's what Palantir looks like on a daily chart. Now, I'm just going to look at this. Let's call up a weekly to give ourselves a little bit more ammo into this trade. Now, look at how far extended it is away from the 50-period moving average. All right, what are the catalysts for Palantir moving forward? Now, they're going to report on November 5th. Will they have a positive EBITDA quarter? Yes, they will. Will they outpace what people are expecting? I believe yes. Is that enough to give Palantir 25% boost?
Let's see.
I say yes.
I
don't see any reason of why Palantir stops from here. I actually think the short float will be increased next time we get a short float update. Why? Because I think people will try to put on a short. There will be traders that will fade this move. There will be traders that say, hey, it's already included in the S&P 500. Why are we still going up? Their quarter might not be that impressive, but at the end of the day, people trying to chase Palantir, I think will continue to chase it into the new years. They're going to sell it at the end of the year. They're going to sell it January 1st, January 2nd, January 3rd. Get out of Palantir. Why are they going to sell it? They're going to book profits. I could see some selling happening near the end of the year to add to that sort of hedge fund, give that little look of being up. Remember, they can't book profits until they sell. Okay, so they're going to get out of some positions. They could mark to market it, but then I think it gets rebought up in January. So I think there could be some selling at the end of December, possible buys into the end of the year on Palantir, selling it maybe the last week in December, and then buying it back into January. So I do think Palantir does have a chance to go upside right now. Okay, right now. All right, here we go. Hey, Davis, you want to look at this? All right, so this is for Joe from Hey Davis. I'll put it in the chat right now, and then Joe can respond right here. All right, Joe, here it comes right now. Hey Davis says, which stock should we buy if you're looking for money at the money calls 60 days out? I mean, there's so many stocks to choose.
So many stocks. There's a lot of stocks. There's a lot of stocks. What are you thinking, Sean?
Is there a name that you like right here moving forward? Is there something that you've been looking at? Because regardless, 60 days out, that's going to be the end of the year. It doesn't even have to be a stock. Is there a sector that you're liking? Is there a stock maybe? Is there something that you recently put on?
Absolutely, and that stock is AMD, who put in an absolute banger of a day, almost up 5% here going on. It still hasn't made any new all-time highs. It's lagging the rest of the semiconductor industry, so that's something that I would look to put a little cash in, is AMD. Maybe get some calls at the money calls around 170, and you can push for a break around 187. So that would be my look, some AMD calls, absolutely.
All right, great call. Now, and I'm still trying to find out I might actually log out of Trade Ideas and back in, because for some reason we don't have that mark there. Okay, we only have 10 minutes. No, we're going later today, Ramin. Don't worry about it. The after show going to 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, 5:15. Q&A until 5.
All right, thank you so much. And again, a lot of people are talking about it here. So great call there on AMD. So there you go. We like that. I agree with you. Just sort of the pressure coming through. Nvidia is near. Nvidia's all-time high is 140. So we're getting close to that. AMD still has a way to run up until
a lot to run,
220 or plus on AMD. Let me check that AMD high. Yeah, there it is right there.
227.94.
27.94 there. Okay.
Nice.
All right. What's up to William Knight? Talking. This might be a good help to both of us. So William, right now, putting a question in the chat. So thank you to Bears vs. Bulls for this. Let's post it up here and push enter. Oh, it's too many words. Early next week. Okay, the end of this question is early next week. William Knight says, Sean, what do you think about this airline move today? Overbought? I set into some $7 strike puts on JetBlue. So JBLU, have a look at that there. JBLU for next Friday. He thinks it sinks under $7 by the time a week from now hits. So let me go JBLU on this one.
Under 7.
Yeah, have a look, Joe, and I'll call this up on the daily.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking at JBLU, and you know it is a little extended right now. Maybe there's a big volume signature, so there could be a potential pullback looking at JBLU. So that's not a bad look. Look for the short maybe because it can be an isolated pivot. So yeah, maybe buy some puts on it, buy a little protection on the side, and you might have yourself a solid trade there.
All right, we're going to switch up our gears here, actually load into our Prosper Pro platform for a second here. So anything else in the airlines? Have you ever looked at that Jets ETF?
Yeah, Jets, I haven't looked at that, but I know Spirit is in a little bit of trouble right now, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, they were potentially possibly filing for bankruptcy. So how about that? I mean, you can see here, I feel like, especially when you're looking at a save or something that's moving 20 or 30% in a day, that's not something that you want to maybe get into if
no, not right
already
away.
Be in.
Exactly.
Because that premium would be so high.
Exactly. Especially with the increase in volatility, you don't want to be buying something with a higher premium when you could have got it for a much better price. So don't chase the stock. It is going through some financial trouble, so watch out for Spirit Airlines.
All right, we are still trying to load back into trade ideas here and get going on that one as it is not cooperating with me right now. I'm just going to load an old layout here and see if we can get it going right now into the close. So we'll open up that layout. And here we go, a new layout coming. And yes, now it is working. So hallelujah for that one. Thank you to Trade Ideas. Sometimes it's just a log in and log out. I know that helps a lot with our platform here as well. All right, FXI today. So Joe, what were you trading? I didn't talk to you too much about that.
I traded some Nvdia today. Okay. We looked at the the ADRs, the Chinese ADRs. JD was gapping up as well. So we took some trades on that and we took some trades on Nvdia. So those were the looks for today, especially on the gap up on the ADRs. All right.
1K today. Congratulations, eyeball there. Good day for you there today as well. XDAMI says 1K as well made there. So we've talked about Nvdia. James G says, James G. Diddy. Oh, we shouldn't say that, but there he is right here. All right, we'll post it up here. What do we think, as he asks about, what do we think about SoFi? And he wants your opinion on that as well. So we want to thank James for that here. SOFI right now. I mean, what a big move it's had right there. We still are looking for that 850 to break. And again, SoFi coming out October 29th. So a little bit of a late, Ramin, if we can come over to the screen here, a little bit of a late report coming for SoFi October 30th. So we will get bank earnings before that. Of course, SoFi is just a little baby bank. What they deal with a lot is student loans. I thought we had some talk with that with Joe Biden recently about some student loans in the current government. I don't know if that's going to change, of course, if and when we get a conservative government coming through. I think that election is right there. This is going to be, I think, an election-sensitive stock. So what is SoFi looking like to you?
You know what? SoFi is looking not too bad. The volume's starting to pick up a little bit. It's been holding its bottoms, so who knows what? If you want to buy some calls on this stock, maybe not heading into earnings because we don't want to get caught into that volatility onslaught. But if you're looking for a swing play via options, maybe buy a week or so out before the earnings date and just be sure to close that position before the earnings announcements because we don't want to get caught on the wrong side of that trade. But other than that, it's looking pretty good for a long. Maybe I would look to buy some calls on that for sure, Sean.
I like SoFi there, yeah, especially breaking out. Sometimes you want to get into a position before it breaks out so that you can pay a little bit less on that. If there's a breakout and we're thinking for the next week or two, I know you'd like to do that. Yeah. Trade weekly, so that would be...
Absolutely. Well, if I'm going to play a breakout for a long option, maybe look a little farther out so you can give yourself a little bit more time to work there, right? Because we don't want time to work against us in that. So we need the breakout to work real quick and real fast.
All right, we have another trade here. We have another question, that I just posted on here from Black Sheep Trades. He wants me to ask you this. What is the best live trading show on YouTube?
Oh, that's an easy one. Trader TV Live.
Find this man a job. I like that one right there. Okay, that was an easy one. I didn't want to get directed to me because, you know, I'm a little biased on that one as well. All right, so this is a good question. Again, Matt Florence is all over this for you. I want to keep asking Joe this. You see my face all the time. So let's go, Joe. All I trade is options, says Matt. How far out do you normally buy for calls or puts? I think you kind of just answered that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we'll touch on that a little bit more. So when you're going to buy some calls or puts and you're looking to long or short something, give yourself a little bit more extra time, right? We don't want theta to work against us because we know time decay will diminish the value of our contracts. So depending on the style of strategy that you're looking to employ, give yourself a couple more weeks. And if that trade doesn't work out, then the contract value won't be destroyed by theta.
So we have a question here right in the chat. It's actually funny from Hey Davis. He says to both of us, is it harder to work and look at stocks on these screens as they're angled down or on the show where they're kind of like in our face and maybe angled the other way?
Hey, we just adapt to what we have to do. We adapt. That's it. Bang. We adapt. Adapt to the situation.
I like the desk. I like our trade
adapt
station.
to the environment, and that's what we got to do, Sean.
Thing is that we're the only ones standing.
Hey.
So we've actually created this. I was like, I'm going to do this show. We're going to stand while we're doing the show because we sit all day. So I think like standing up here kind of gives us like that sort of bird's eye view of this. So I'm comfortable doing this. Yeah. I think that's really cool. Okay, let's go. Let's keep on asking some more. All right, someone wants to know. I'm not going to post them in the chat anymore, but thank you everybody for that. Keep following along. I'll just repeat them. All right, Ravi Fernandez says, what do you all think about Nvdia on Monday? Are we bullish or bearish on Nvdia? Hey. Okay, so for me, man, it's pretty simple. Bullish. I mean, I don't. We're above the 50-period moving average, but let's just talk about this maybe a little more, constructive than that. Okay, so again, today, look at this big move up here in the pre-market on Nvdia. Obviously, we get that jobs number, but remember, the jobs number was a positive indicator for the market, okay? Although we made a huge move up and came all the way back, look at it, just make that move higher. I don't think this looks like, chart on. I don't think this looks like we want to fade this very much here.
No.
Closing at the highs of the day for Nvdia, to me, that's a huge sign. I've been sitting here trading for many, many years, over 20, believe it or not, Joe. And you know what? When stocks generally close at their highs, that's a great sign, especially when it's had such a dramatic move. So it's only going to take a couple positive stories on Monday to get this thing rocking and rolling. So if we even go back down to a 60-minute chart, you're going to see the next level that everyone's going to look at is right up here, 127. I actually think we can open up near 127 on Nvdia on Monday. And then when we take that out, then the next level is 130, and then we go higher and higher and higher. So I think right now, the worst thing we can do as a trader is fight the Fed. The Fed rate here, we've already talked about it. It's almost 100% guaranteed that we're going to get that quarter point, then another quarter point back in December, half basis point off at the end of the year. I think the Fed likes that. I think they're going to stay with it. And I think tech names like Nvdia, that only has a PE of like 30 or something right now, has a good opportunity, forward PE, has a great opportunity of getting higher than where we are right now. So for me, I like Nvdia into next week. I do like AMD potentially better. And the reason why AMD is better is look at this chart right here.
Absolutely.
Great call by Joe on this one. Great call, I feel like, by trading this today. AMD doesn't have anything to test anymore. It's already broken this high. Traders that are short, 3% short float on AMD is actually half decent. There's a lot of days to cover, 1.5. You could get a bump up here, as a lot of traders say AMD's not going to break 170. Well, guess what? It did that pretty easily today. AMD takes down 170. Can Chef Joe, Zion Lala wants to know, what about your wheel strategy? Can Joe go over his wheel strategy one of these days? What exactly is that?
Okay, so the options wheel he's talking about, I personally don't employ the options wheel, right? So that's more of a long-term strategy that you're employing with options, right? So you're selling puts, looking to get assigned, Sean, and then you now own shares of that, and then you will sell calls against that position to collect premium, also looking to get assigned on that as well. But you make the difference between your average price of the shares and the short calls, right? So the wheel strategy is a great strategy if you're looking for longer term and you're looking for assignment and to continuously bring in that type of cash flow. But there are capital requirements with the options wheel.
Just a couple more minutes left. All right, so just real quickly here. Harry Krishna, what's up? Is metal possible 560, 540? Yes,
Dang.
easily possible, man. And the reason why I want to talk about this is real quick. We already talked about sort of the downside of some of these tech names. What goes up must
come down.
Sometimes, but right there, look at this move down, right? So here we go. This is just back in April when everything was fine for Meta. We went from 529 down to 420. That lost $100 on 500. That is 25%. So we already had a 25% move. Then we went right back up. Then we went from 550 back down to 450. That's another 25% move. So just in the last 3 months, we've had two 25% moves. And you're like, okay, well, that was in the past. All right. So what about late August? We went from 540 all the way down to 500. That's $40 on 500. So that's another 8 to 10% move downside on that. So can we pull back on Meta? Yes, we can. I think could be a big move down in. Will it come into 520? I don't know about that. That seems like losing about $70 on 500 would be par for the course. I do think there is pullbacks here. It doesn't really like the 50 period. What it likes is the 200 period here. So I think a pullback into 470 could be possible. I mean, earnings is a while away. That's October 30th. That would be a spooky Halloween if we drop down 25% on Meta, but it's happened before and it will, mark my words, happen again. I just don't think it's this earnings season. I think we still have a nice move back there up into the upside. Guess what? Hit the siren over there.
Oh. We're waiting.
Roll call. All right. The siren normally means fourth. Thing is, Joe, you might not know. Anytime it's Ramin here and it's 4:30, that thing almost rings like it's broken.
Instantly.
You know what I mean?
Second early.
She's letting me know that we got to jam out of here. But I actually like this.
Hey.
You know what that reminds me of? You play hockey?
I'm a big hockey guy.
What does that remind you of?
Me putting pucks in the back of the net.
I love that. I love when he goes, me putting pucks. I love that one. All right, it's roll call, baby. Here we go. And for those of you that do not follow, basically every single goaltender right above them has the red light, man. And that's as soon as that puck crosses the line, it's a goal and that red. But nowadays, there's so many things get reviewed all the time.
Everything's reviewed, right? We got to go back to the old ways. It's either it's in or it's not.
Shout out to Daryl. Here we go. It's roll call real quick. Daryl Flinch, one of the first ones. We used to do trader interviews. We used to bring traders that are watching the show live on the show. Maybe we'll bring that back. Daryl was one of the first. What's up to Hugh? Hey, Davis is here. Fat Figa's here. Penguin Dynasty. William Knight. Rich Naples. Hey, man, we still got over 1,800 watching us. Amazing. Thank you so much for that one. Black Sheep Trade is here. Pitchbull's here. Neil Robb is here. Lydia's here. Matt is here. Bob is here. Harry Krishna. We already got your question. Easy peasy. We like that one. Great week, and thank you too as well. Xylon Lala has got 99 problems, but the market ain't one. Damn, Daniel says Juan Velasco, Fun Bubble, Matsy, God Emperor, and everybody else. Thank you so much. Joe, have a great birthday, man.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Best wishes to you for that one. A safe one, a full one. As it seems like it's going to be definitely based around food. I definitely like that one as well. All right, look, it's been a great week. You're on Monday, Tuesday,
and
Thursday. So join Joe next week on the Midday show where Sharif and him will talk about something, definitely options and learning to trade. Myself and Neil, Brendan, Adara, Sharif, Joe, Satea, Ramin. When are you off for me? Not next week? The week after that, she gone for... Next week, Wednesday, she's gone. We'll be missing her for about a week and 10 days or so. She goes back home, so we'll say see ya to Ramin and miss her for sure. But we'll be joining Fabian, Andre, everybody back next week. Thank you to Bears vs. Bulls. Thank you, my guy.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks for stepping up and joining me here on the After Show. What a wild week. You heard our calls. We're excited for next week. We're bullish on this desk. I hope you guys are too. From everybody here at Trader TV Live, have a fantastic weekend. Happy birthday belated to Satea as well. And we'll see everybody later. Ciao.